Alycia Baumgardner. This is Channing Crowder. This is Fred Taylor. I'm Ryan Clark. Pivot fam, thank you for pivoting with us. So obviously, whenever you're getting ready for these sit downs, okay, you want to read as much as you can, watch as much as you can. And so I'm watching all of these fights, right? And also the weigh-ins. And you talking big money, right? You get in the ring and you're absolutely ferocious. And then you walk in and you're so put together. How do you balance that though, right? Being that dog, but also having the femininity away from the ring that shows you can be both things.
You know, it's a perfect combo between being a beauty and a beast and understanding I can separate the two and knowing who I am in the ring is just an animal, someone who's worked hard, someone who's been in camp for 8 weeks. And then there's Alycia, who's the woman who wants to do her hair, her makeup, get ready, you know, be able to be vocal and speak, you know, uplift. And I love it because a lot of people are throwing off about it, and boxing is just one of those sports, it's a combat sport. Like, this girl over here getting hit, yes, but this one getting beat up. So it's a perfect combo. I love it.
That's a different thing, right? Getting hit and getting beat up, that's two different things?
Absolutely. I mean, you might have to take a punch to give two, you know?
And you say beauty and the beast. A lot of people lead, like when you start, you know, looking into you in different interviews, different things you had, people lead with the beauty. Mm-hmm. Without the beast, the beauty might not have been seen either. Like, do you like when people make it like about, oh, you're a beautiful young lady, more than, no, I'm out there whooping these girls' asses?
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things, you know, they say don't judge a book by its cover, but listen, if I didn't have the shirt on, the muscles would be telling, very telling.
Oh, you like to take a picture with your little abs out now.
You know, listen, I do my abs, okay? But yeah, no, a lot of people could, you know, just look at a cover and be like, oh, she's just a pretty girl. But in reality, there's a fighter, there's a warrior behind everything, and she's a fighter.
You started wrestling at 4 and boxing at 8, so you've been in the gym your whole life. Kind of take us back to how it all got started. Like, what was that one thing that sort of prompted you wanting to go after this?
Yeah, you know, I come from a small country town in Ohio, Fremont, Ohio, and it was an opportunity that my parents saw before I could ever. You know, they knew this child was special, and my dad just knew that he had to have that push with me that I wasn't going to be able to give myself at that age. And I had boy cousins, so they wrestled as well. And he's like, you want to wrestle? I'm like, yeah, I'll wrestle. And then, you know, I started wrestling, and I'm like, yo, I love this, the competitiveness, you know, and the fact that I'm also wrestling boys just built this confidence as a young girl to say, yo, I can do anything. I didn't have limitations at a young age to be like, oh, you can't do this, you're a girl, you're in a boy sport. It was, hey, you work hard, and you show it on the mat. So wrestling just built that confidence, and then that was over. I wrestled in middle school, and my dad's like, what about boxing? You want to try boxing? Big boxing family as well. And 8 is the age that you can start boxing. So I'm like, yeah, I'll try it. Again, I'm just going free balling this. I'm like, I'll just try it. I could do it, right? Go to the gym. Again, all boys, nothing new. Head down, though, working. And again, just started building that resilience. Like, okay, if I could wrestle, I could box. If I could take a punch, I could box. And it just built this resilience and this mentality of, I'm a fighter, I'm a woman, and I can do all things because nobody can tell me anything different. And so my dad just drilled that, like, you got to. It made me do it for some time too, to like hate it but love it at the same time, because I'm here today to speak about it as a world champion, and it's been great.
Well, you kind of treated like a weirdo though, right? Because looking at our culture, right? You're a beautiful young black woman, and when we're kids, like when we're 4 and when we're 8, everybody's the same. Like, we could all be outside playing with our shirt off and we all just look the same, right? And everybody's blending, and you're talking about being with boys, but when you get to high school, right, and other young ladies are doing cheerleading, or if they're playing sports, it's basketball, track, volleyball, and here you are into this different thing. How were you treated, or how did people see what your goals were as opposed to other young ladies your age?
Yeah, I would say I was treated with respect. I think it was, people had a sense of, this girl's different. You know, I was set apart in the most humble way. She's different. You know, boxing wasn't a school sport. This was outside of boxing. So this was something I was doing every day outside of school. And I think they just saw the work ethic that I was putting in every day. Again, I'm not your average girl just in boxing. And they're like, you know, this is different. But it was more of a respect thing. No one messed with me. No one, they really uplift me. Yeah. Just being in the space that I grew up in terms of Fremont and just the diversity. There's not much, right? There's a majority of what that is and then the small community of our people. So it was more of just putting respect, like we got somebody. Yeah. We got somebody here that's gonna do something.
I love that.
Shoot, here we are.
We recently on the show talked about, his son just got to the NFL. You know, our kids play sports and everything. And talking about like, you keep bringing up your dad. Like your dad was the one pushing you. From 4, making you wrestle, from 8, I would say making you, but like that pressure, that balance, did that put any kind of, throughout the years, even middle school, high school, did that put pressure on y'all's relationship? Because we're being daddies, but now we're coaches, now we're motivators, now we're, you know, scheduling training. Like, did that put pressure on you and your dad's relationship?
Yeah, I would say absolutely. We definitely had like a father-daughter coach relationship. So it was like trying to separate all of it, but my dad was my coach, you know, really my life coach in life and just in the sports world as well. And man, I just needed it though. I know I needed it more than anything, but it did cause some tension, you know, growing up. You know, like I mentioned, my dad made me do boxing. I'm like, I don't want to do this. He was like, you want to work at McDonald's the rest of it? My dad would lecture me for hours, and I'd just be crying, like, are we done yet? But I just know, like, he was just instilling that work ethic, because he worked hard as a young kid to be here, to be in a position to take care of his kids. And so it just I never shied away from that. But, you know, he let me do me at one point. He's like, you know what? Cool, you got it. I'm like, all right. Yeah. You know, I'm thinking I'm living, you know, I'm 17. I'm like, I want to go to school for nursing. All right, did that. I'm like, yeah, that's not for me. So I went back to boxing, dedicated my life since then, but it was because of the work ethic and what he said.
Yeah, the hard work is something. You're the undisputed champ, right? Signed to Ford models, work with Adidas, right? We all have that moment when it hits us, like after we're drafted, like, dang, we're in the NFL. What was your, like, pinch me moment? Like, man, this hard work paid off, I made it.
Look, I gotta take a deep breath because I tell this story many times. It's when I became a world champion, when I went to London. And just prior to that, I'm grinding. I'm grinding for years. You know, boxing is just one of them sports where you better stay in the gym so when they call you, you're ready. And I just knew that one day my work is gonna pay off. I didn't have the promoter, I didn't have the money, I didn't have the backing. I just had hard work. I had work ethic. That's all I had. If I showed up every day, something's gonna pay off. And I just knew that I had to just stay in the gym. And I remember getting the phone call. They're like, I remember sliding into my promoter's DMs like, hey, give me a shot. Just one shot. I'm going to show you. I'll prove to you. I got it. Boom. They called me. They're like, all right, we got a world title shot for you. 4-week notice. I already knew it was going to be one of them notices where it's going to be last minute, but I was in the gym and I'm like, I want this. This is my opportunity. Boom, we fly over to London. Obviously, you know, the odds are stacked against me. They don't know who Alycia is. I know who I am. I've been grinding. I had 165 amateur fights. You know, I'm just a small girl from a country town, so not everybody hearing me on the highest level, but I know what I'm doing behind the scenes. And so we get there, whatever, just the confidence. I'm just like, we're here now. You gotta soak this in, because baby, when it's gone, it's gone. Yep. And I just remember seeing her in her eyes. I'm like, this is my time. This is my opportunity. And so the fight comes out, you know, the ring walk, one of my favorite things to do. Yeah. Came out to Too Sexy. I'm like, yeah, we're here. And I remember the third round, my trainer's like, just throw the right hand. She's gonna walk right into it. I'm like, okay. Fourth round come. She walked right in, boom, hit her with the right hand. I felt the power from my dang feet all the way to the end of the punch. I'm like, damn. Hit her, right? She stuck. And that moment, it was just a release. Like, I felt like I came up from swimming underwater for so long, and I finally got that breath that I needed. And that was the moment for me where I always just recall, like, all that hard work, the tears, the pain, the suffering. I'm here.
Alycia, you talk about that moment and the grinding it took to get there. Women's boxing is moving in a totally different direction. I mean, it's evident by the card that you will be on July 11th. You signed with Most Valuable Promotions now, Nikisa Badar and Jake Paul. What was it that went into you making that move and then also putting something on the back end of that contract for retirement to continue to be a part of moving women's boxing forward?
Yeah, my purpose with signing with MVP was to say, hey, I'm an equal. I'm not just a fighter under a roster. As a woman who's learned the business of boxing, who's learned what it is to have a business and to have a business mindset, not just a fighter's mentality, like I'm just fighting. They saw that vision and they also took heed to my advice that I wanted to give. And we're building the sport as a whole. It's not just individual fighters. It takes a village. And they were able to take hold of the opportunity that we have somebody special like Alycia. And I know that we can cultivate together to really push the sport of boxing, not just women's boxing, but boxing as a whole. And you need the right person for that. And they got me.
The poster for the fight, though, did y'all really dress up in the gladiator outfits, or is that superimposed?
I think they did a little AI with that one. But it was nice, though. I loved it. I loved it.
Cool.
They did a good job.
Yeah. Alycia, the business of boxing you brought up, where like you're preparing to go whoop somebody's ass or they're about to whoop your ass. But then I've seen you post-fight, you wearing shades and you're doing, like, is there any, like, how is that balancing the marketing, balancing the personality? And it's not like WWE wrestling, but you still have to keep your thing. But I'm still preparing every day to go really fight, but then I got to sell a fight. Then I got to do this. Is it hard to do the business and also physically prepare?
It was, in the beginning it was, but then when I took hold of, you are your business. I told myself, you are the promoter. No one's gonna love you like you love you. No one's gonna promote you like you promote yourself.
No doubt.
And it's just being authentic. It's being true to self. And people are able to see the personality. I have many personalities, boxing being one of them, and just, those things that tie into it. But it's entertainment business at the end of the day. People wanna know who you are, and they also wanna hear the story behind it. So there's so much to talk about, so it's not just a fighter, but there's more.
When do you know, because you say, okay, my trainer say throw the right hand, right? She walks into the right hand, I feel it from my feet, I can feel the power. We played a sport where you had teammates, right? So if Fred runs over me, Chan might be able to get my back and get him on the ground. That's not what boxing is. Boxing, it's you against her. I've seen you after the weigh-ins, put your belts on your shoulders, you talking trash, you face to face. When is there a point, though, where you could look in a woman's eyes and say, okay, I got her?
It's the moment when the weigh-ins come. You know what I'm saying? This is the moment before the fight. So I'm looking right in your eyes. I'm dead ass like this. In your shit, just like this. Because I know the mentality I have to have come fight night. And there's always respect, right? But I just know I have to lock in. And this is the moment where you lock in and you say, it's either me or her. And it's me. Because, baby, I want to win.
Yeah.
We've defended our titles, So it's just a moment of locking in and understanding I put all the work in already. This is the time we have fun. Because the fight night should be fun. You put all the work in. 8 weeks,
Yeah,
So,
I'm getting punched in the face.
Yeah, this dude right here, he messed with everybody, right? He said Jake is a YouTuber and he's not a fighter. What would you say to him if he told you that?
I would say, just like me, Jake was able to use his social media presence, and now he's using his boxing presence to combine the two, and I think it's great. Boxing is one of those things where it's going to tell on you before you say anything. So if he's putting in the work, there's nothing but respect for that, and it's just an opportunity for him to really showcase I was able to fuse both worlds. And that's why I love the card come July 11th, because it's getting many different eyes in the sense of boxing fans, casuals, and people who never even watched boxing in their life.
And we went to Logan. I went to Logan and Floyd down in Miami. We went to
Jake and Mike's weigh-in.
Jake and Mike.
Yep.
So I'm coming around now. Like, you know, I'm old. I don't understand the social media of things and how it's, like you're saying, it's melding together and all. The art and the anger, I wanted to ask you. Because as I was watching your fights, like there's times when you just seem like, I'm just about to go and throw. And then there's times you have to have that art. I've asked other boxers. We've had a bunch. We had Bud Crawford. We had
Errol.
We had
Caleb.
Floyd on a bunch of times. We had those guys. Like, when is that point between I have to have the art of boxing now? Like, when is that decided? Is it during the fight? Is it before the fight?
Yeah, I would say it's during the fight. I mean, one thing about boxing is it's a sweet science. So you're figuring out your opponent in seconds. You're downloading the data. And now that I'm like, okay, bet, I see she don't like the body. Okay, bet, I'm gonna go back down to the body. Okay, now I know she's gonna be exposed at top. So I'm just making these calculations where I know, okay, it's time. You know what I'm saying? Everything is calculated. At least for me, you know, I want it to look pretty too, you know? So it's a chess game and just breaking down your opponent and saying, okay, bet, next round. And it might not even be the next round. It might go the distance, but it's also an opportunity. Okay, what can I work on in this moment? Can I throw the jab a little more? Do I go back down to the body? Do I throw the feint, then go through the 1-2? You know what I mean? So it's a chess thing.
As it happens, you know
As
it's
it
happening.
happens, as it happens, yeah.
Yeah, listen to that. You know what that tells me? I get put to sleep. Right? If I got to be downloading all that and trying not to get punched on, I'm getting punched on. Yeah, if
I can't scoop you either.
yeah.
Once you get hit twice, you want to scoop them. No,
Right.
Especially if you get punched in the nose and them eyes go to water.
Right, but you know how we have butterflies right before the game, and then it takes that first hit sometime like you locked in and ready to go. Do you ever have those moments? Well, you're going to be in Madison Square, and New Yorkers are different.
Yeah.
Like, do you get nervous? You have butterflies. What does it take for you to really get going?
Yeah, I would say I would have, it's a good butterfly feeling. It's adrenaline really pumping, like my heart pumping, like, damn, we made it. We here. We talked about this moment, right? I love that feeling though, because it just tells me what I gotta do and where I'm at. But once you, like you said, once you get hit, that goes out the window. Now you locked in. So I love the energy in New York though. I fought there before. They bring the energy, so that just like lifts me up as a fighter and keeps it going.
So the co-main that night, you'll be along with Amanda Serrano, who's now your teammate on MVP. But I want to talk about like boxing beef, right? Because rap beef is not real. We've had podcast beef. That's not really real. Because I've tried to see how real they wanted to make it, and nobody really wants to make it any realer than what they could do in film. You and Clarissa, though, y'all kind of have gone back and forth. And you actually said, I think you said you'd fight her at 147, I think it was. When you think about women's boxing moving toward the super fight, like we have Bud and Canelo coming up for the men, what would excite you about a matchup against, you know, someone in Clarissa who people see as one of the greatest female boxers of all time?
Yeah, well, you have to take heed to knowing that we're both in two separate weight classes, you know. That is, I think, everybody's super fight that they would love to see. You know, there's weight classes for a reason. And I know that with the fight coming up with Amanda and Katie, that's the winner I want. I want that fight. Just because I've seen these women grow and I've been able to watch them, and I think the best fighter would bring the best me. And those are the super fights that we want. You know, it's good to have this beef in the game because it gets people talking. And, you know I'm on my own lane. I know Clarissa's in her own lane doing what she's doing. But, you know, we never back down from a challenge. That shows, right? We're both competitors in what we love to do. But, baby, I don't care who it is. I'm going to get in there and do what I do best.
What would a fight with Amanda look like now that you guys are both with MVP?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a conversation to be had. I think that, again, we're doing it for the sport. I mean, it's cool to be friends outside of it, but we want to make these big fights. These are history fights. These are fights that young girls are looking up to that are able to watch the sport of boxing. Shoot, it don't even got to be Amanda. It could be Katie, too,
right.
You know? And these are the two women who've been at the top of their game. They're fighting again for the third time, and I want a shot at that. I want to see what that feels like.
Who did you watch as a kid? Who was the person? Because it's a different style of fight. Like I said, there's art and there's whoop ass. Like
Yeah.
Tyson, I would say number one whoop ass.
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali was art. Floyd is 100% art. Like who do you model your game after anybody? And who was the people that you watch like, damn, that's boxing right there?
You know, believe it or not, I didn't watch a lot of boxing growing up, but I did take notes just from the persona and the personality of Mike Tyson, of who he was and just his dog mentality when he would get in the ring. Like it was an eye thing for me. I'm just watching and not really so much mimic someone's style, but just the mentality. It's the mentality at the end of the day. If you got a weak mind, baby, you can't get in this sport. And it's gonna tell you every time. And so I think when I watched Mike Tyson, it was just his mentality of his I don't give a fuck mentality. You know, this, again, we punching people in the face at the end of the day. And I'm like, yeah, I like that dog mentality. I like that. So it was just more of that and more of, okay, how can I transition into who I am into the ring and make my own style? I'm a boxer puncher. I can box, I can punch, I can move, and those things. So it's kind of like my own thing, but it's the mentality that matters.
He was on the show and I was scared. Like we sitting like this, I had my foot down on the ground the whole time because I was scared he was about to get mad.
You had your foot down because you were gonna run, or you were gonna attack him if he attacked you?
You see, my foot was turned away.
I just wanted to make sure the people knew you wasn't going toward
No,
Mike.
the sweet door was that way, and I said, if this man stands up, I'm hauling ass.
You wasn't getting nowhere fast in heavy-ass 6 rings. You know goddamn well.
I got on the fours now.
He had
Hell,
the pivot on his
Alycia, have you, like, I know guys try to shoot their shot. Like, has there been like a moment where someone who didn't know who you were, what you did, that just kind of tried to shoot their shot at you and kind of...
All the time. I mean, I feel like it's hit or miss, but you know, like I said, the muscles kind of speak for themselves. So they'd be like, "What do you do?"
So how do you really balance like...
I punch people.
Right,
a little
right.
bit.
Oh, you know what? What'd you say? You need me, Jerome?
I'm going to check up
But
out of
what's
here.
crazy is the men would be like, "Oh, I love that. Can you punch me?" I'm like, "Where is this coming from?"
Listen,
It's
what
very
we
odd.
have learned, Alycia, is we're in a day and age where people be about some freaky stuff. So
I'm trying to tell you, I'm like,
Okay, so how do you balance that though, like beast mode and, you know, the beauty in the beast? How do you find a balance?
yeah, balance is obviously the number one. You need that in the ring and you need that outside the ring. You know, I have to look at myself as someone who's still reaching a goal. You know, the work is never done. I feel like I haven't even reached the ceiling because there's no ceiling, right? And I understand who I am. I understand my assignment. I understand what God has me, where he has me and those things. So it's just it's a time to focus. Like, I gotta lock in. I'm married to the game, so I tell people, I'm married to the game because there's so much more and there's so much that I want to accomplish and I don't need any distractions.
Right.
I only need people who are gonna support me, see my vision, uplift me, and that's what's gonna keep me going because there's so much more to tap into.
There's no goal, there's no ceiling, but how many more belts can you actually win? I don't know that much about boxing, but you got a fleet of them motherfuckers.
Yeah, for me, honestly, it's not even about the belts. It's not even the material things. It's more of the growth. It's more of, like I said, the mentality. To be in a sport like boxing, you have to know yourself. You have to know that what you're dealing with outside the ring, the sufferings that I've been through, the death of my dad, the trials and tribulations, like those are what builds me. And so when I'm able to get in the ring, that's the release that I'm getting. Like, I got a lot of built up aggression, and coming July 11th, I'm able to release that. That's like my therapy, that's my sanctuary. So it's just more of the aspect of tapping into who I am, what God's called me to be, and how I'm able to release in such a way that it's changing people around me. It's uplifting girls. It's tapping into a mentality that says, hey, I'm facing doubt and I'm facing success. Which one are we going to choose today? You know, it's an everyday battle. It's a spiritual battle at the end of the day. And it's a deeper meaning on what I'm doing. Boxing is just the platform that I'm able to possess, but there's so much more. And so I'm learning that and growing through that with the sport that I'm doing now.
We all have girls, right? I have 2 daughters, and that relationship with my daughters is much different than that I have with my son. You know, you talk about your father, you spoke about him being like We have a father-daughter relationship. We have a coach relationship. Channing actually just recently lost his father as well. When you have so much of your life interwoven with the human, on top of him being your father, how difficult was it for you to deal with his passing?
It still is difficult. I think it's a moment where you gotta just take day by day. I know people say that so like freely, but it's literally a day by day thing. And I know that with everything that was instilled as a young girl to an adult, that there was purpose in it all. There was purpose for the lectures. There was purpose for ass whoopings too. You know what I'm saying? And just the hard love that was needed. And I'm just reminded now that my dad wouldn't want it any other way. He would want me in the gym. He would want me working. Even when I got the call, I was in Vegas. I'm away from my family, you know? I'm in the gym, but that's what my dad wanted me to do. He wanted me to continue working, like no matter what, keep going. And so when I got that call to go back, I'm like, damn. It was like I had a sense of calmness and peace in a sense because I knew my dad wasn't suffering anymore. But it was still like, okay, I gotta keep going. And that's just the fighter mentality that I got. Just now I gotta take care of my family. Now I gotta be, you know, what my dad always said I was going to be, more than a champion, you know? So it's trying, but it's fulfilling in a way that's sustaining me to keep going. And this is where we are.
It's my father just passed less than a month ago. And you just brought up something that now you have to take care of your family. Well, now I'm the only boy of my generation. I had to become the patriarch with what you're doing as a female, but now you have to become that person in your family. How is that transition? How is that? Because for me, I'm crying. I'm going through my stuff, but then everybody's calling me crying. I'm like, I can't be crying when they're crying.
Yeah.
So now I had to step up to be that guy that my dad was, and now, but you being a female as well, and now being the matriarch of the family, it's how was that transition, and also trying to box, and also trying to market, and also trying to promote, and still, I keep saying it, whooping these girls' asses.
Right. Listen, like you talked about balance, you know, balancing emotions. I'm a woman at the end of the day. I have many emotions, and it's just one of those things. I got to keep praying about it, man. Listen, I got a big prayer life. Me and God, we like this, and I can only get through it if I'm giving it to him to supply me with the strength that I need to get through. I'm not perfect, and but I know that I'm sustained to do it. I know that I have purpose to do it. And I think that's why God's like, okay, bet this happened. You know, I can never question it. But this is why I'm going to equip you to do what you're able to do. And so I just take hold of that and just understand the position that I'm in, the posture that I'm in. I'm so thankful because it could be different. I wouldn't have anything, you know, I wouldn't be able to provide for anybody. And so I just remember, like, it could be worse. And I know losing a parent is probably the worst thing you can lose in life, but God has a way of doing things. I can never question that. I'm just figuring my way through.
You know, we all play ball. We're big dudes. And so if we're talking to families, you're not that big.
Yeah, but see.
And he a little sickly too, but we No. But like, my bad. I'm sorry, you know, we always. But like, as family, and you're managing the family, you're talking to the family, you're figuring things out. And like, if somebody in the family gets, you know, they get a little loud, I could stand up 6'3", 250 and be like, hey, bro, chill out.
Yeah.
Can you're not a big woman, but they done seen what you do. Like, can you physically intimidate people? Like, hey, sit your ass down. You know what's gonna happen, Josh.
Very easily, the intimidation is there, but I think it's more of the presence felt. You know what I'm saying? Like, one thing about it, my family were really close-knitted. You know, we grew up, 7 of us in a 2-bedroom. Like, we're close, you know what I'm saying? So we never want to, you know, be outside ourselves, but we do get to talking. Yeah. The mouth will be flying, but we just have a respect for each other at the end of the day, and I think we all have a role on what we play in family and how we all can show up for each other. And so they respect what I do, my biggest supporters, and they always show out for me.
I watched you at the hockey game, right? And it started out and you were kind of like reserved, right? And you were cool and you were talking to the young lady that you were with. And then as it went on, you was like, get his ass. You know what I mean? Oh, he knocked it. You know what I'm saying? Like I could see you get more into it. What is it about competition that fuels you? Because you could see it. It wasn't even your sport. And as things went on and as things got more hotly contested, you got more interested.
Right.
What is it about competition that turns you up like that?
The thing about competition is it's a competition with self, you know? So I'm watching the game. I'm like, okay, listen, I know these guys, they're going back and forth. They're on skates. Once we got back and forth, they got this gear on. I'm like, yo, they really got to put this work into, one, not get punched in the face with a puck or a stick. And I'm like, I like this. You know, I think it's just, again, that inner self. How big of a dog are you? You can talk a lot, but how big of a dog are you? So when you're either on the field, in the rink, wherever, like it's just gonna show up and it's gonna illuminate. Yeah. People are gonna feel it, you know. And I think it's a felt thing, but the competition is it just tells a story about who that person is.
So your last fight was in September, right?
Yes.
September of last year. Mm-hmm. It's a long time.
Yeah.
It's a long time in between fights. Like, when does you got the call to say, hey, we got this fight, but when does the real excitement kick in?
Fight week. I know it's been some time, but that time was necessary. But fight week is a time, you know, everything's happening. You're doing interviews, you're meeting your fans, you know, you're locking in on your weight. The fight week is the best part, because I'm ready. I'm over the training. I'm ready to fight, for real.
What's the process in picking your walkout song?
Man, that's a great question. Honestly, it's just the mood that I'm in. You know what I'm saying? It could be Nuck If You Buck. It could be so many choices. I'm like, what energy do I want to give? And that's just a moment of pick something that's going to get you going. Because it's like in the gym. Say it again.
You do it the day of, or you have a few options before, kind of?
Sometimes it's the day before. Because it might change. It might change for me. I remember picking my songs when I was fighting in London. I'm like, okay, I want this song for that, this song, and this song. So I had 3 songs. Right. And they all felt my mood in that given moment. So it's just be one of them things.
Wow. Chan's song would be terrible, by the way. He would pick the absolute worst walkout song if he was a boxer.
It'd be some T.I. or some Pastor Troy.
He only knows Atlanta rappers.
Yeah, I'm from Atlanta. You know Atlanta dudes. I don't know if you know Atlanta dudes, but yeah, we only support Atlanta.
I'm not mad at Atlanta music. I'm not mad at that.
Hey, you seem like a purist, right? Like the fight game is pure to you, the way you approach it, what you want to get from it, but also what you want to give back. You avenged, you know, your only loss, but afterwards there was the accusation that you tested positive, which you were obviously cleared from. How difficult was that for you to deal with, knowing you had done nothing wrong, but now there's this thing out that could smudge or besmirch the reputation that you had built?
Yeah, it was a trying time. I think it was, again, another trying time of who I am as a person, my integrity. And I have to remind people that as a young girl growing up, a black girl who had muscles, this was not normal to people. You know what I'm saying? I have an athletic build naturally. You know, you see track girls, you see a lot of women, not a lot of women, there's few women that I've seen. And I used to be so insecure about that. I used to hate having muscles. I'm like, girls don't have muscles. Really? Hated it. And my mom be like, no, you gotta love yourself. You know, these girls would die to have a body like you. I'm like, I don't wanna hear that. I'm a young girl with muscles. That's just in my mentality. And I had to grow to love myself in a way where my body is my body. God gave me this. This is God-given. So I had to relate that to already having the notion that I look the way I look, people already perceiving me a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Oh, she has to be doing this. I mean, she has to be. No, like, this is who I am. So it was a moment where I've always wanted to defend myself in a way. You can't defend yourself against social media. It is what it is. But I just know who I was and what I overcame, a body image and just like the double standard of a Black woman with muscles. You know what I'm saying? So it fit the criteria for everybody else. And it was very upsetting because, you know, once it's out there, it's out there. But, you know, I was just able to really take hold of everything, my team, and just know that I did everything in my power to beat the case, whatever. And I'm standing here today with the same arms.
How do you, for young girls though, and you know, it's rare we get this opportunity, you know, that's not necessarily something men deal with. And for you, it wasn't someone calling you overweight or saying you were out of shape. Like, as you say, listen, at 31, they got women that'll go spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to look the way that you are. What do you say to young girls, though, who are dealing with body image issues or body dysmorphia about loving themselves and what God made them to be?
Yeah, my message to them is, again, love yourself. Love what God has already given you. You know, and again, it sounds so cliche, but you really gotta love yourself. You really gotta look at yourself in the mirror daily. I might not like this, I might not like that. But one thing about being an athlete, I can change that. You know, or someone who's in the gym, you can change the way you look. You can change the way you feel. It's how you feel at the end of the day. And I think that people are so influenced by the outside world and they don't know exactly who they're looking at to say, you know what, I actually love the way I look. I can walk outside and feel confident. I can wear a cutoff shirt because my arms look good today and not have to feel like you got to cover yourself up. You got to love yourself fully, completely, because you're not a mistake. You're not a mistake at life. You know, you're here for purpose. And then when people really learn and lean into what their purpose is, they're going to have a better relationship. I had just recently went to Equatorial Guinea, Africa, and the kids loved my muscles. They're like, what are these? They're like they're touching my arms, and I just thought it was like such an amazing just thought that these young girls, young boys, they're looking at something they've never seen before.
Yeah.
You know, and they loved themselves and they loved what they saw, and it was like illuminating. So I just felt like it was, if they don't talk about it, they see it, they feel it, and they know it.
Speak about that experience. I went to Africa years ago. When I touched down in the motherland, I felt some sort of connection, right? Just from the history and the stories we've been told. What was your experience like there?
Yes, so I was invited to go to Equatorial Guinea for a fight there. You know, it was the last fight since Rumble in the Jungle that they were able to bring a fight there. Oh, wow. And so they invited me out. And again, this is my first time in Africa. And just the way you felt, just connected in some way. And what an experience. Right. Would totally go back. And again, my highlight was just going to the orphanage. You know, people might have thought these kids were suffering or have less than, but they were filled with so much love. And it just illuminated to me, like through me. And I'm like, this is why I'm here, right. You know? Mm-hmm. And just seeing them happy just in a circumstance that doesn't seem normal to us was just very telling on being thankful on where I come from and being able to go there. Just seeing the people and that they're living their lives just on. No social media, no phones, no nothing, just culture and family and love. It was a time. And I was so happy that I was able to eat some seeded fruit. I'm like, I love that. Because, you know, America has GMOs everywhere. But just eating it, the food was clean. The air just was clean. The water, the people. It was an experience to remember. And I know that that's not my first time. Mm-hmm. It won't be my first time going
Look
there.
at boxing.
You are continuing to ascend and sort of help female boxing transcend this box it had been put in. Let's say it's someone who has never watched you or any female step into the ring. And you were like, look, I need you to go pull up the highlights of these 3 women. What 3 women boxers would you tell someone who's never watched women box, who has a skepticism about it to go watch?
It's a great question. So top 3 fighters, I would say 1, myself. I would say 2, Clarissa Shields. And I would also say just off the look, not the look, but the knockout, and Wolf. Like that just plays in my head. Like when you think about women's boxing and you think about a knockout, you think about Ann Wolf.
You do.
And so I would say those 3.
You know, obviously Layla Ali came in with a lineage and a pedigree that honestly no other fighter, man or woman, can come in when Muhammad Ali is your father. But she did sort of bridge that gap between being a beautiful feminine woman and a boxer and athlete as well. You know, I know you said you didn't watch much growing up, but was she one of the people that sort of allowed women to be able to be seen as both?
Yes, I would totally mention Layla Ali in the top 3 for sure. Just because, like you mentioned, just the balance that she gave to the world, not only because she's Muhammad's daughter, but because she had her own fight. She had her own person to do what she had to do for self. And I would say that she bridged that gap. Even if I look back on it, like, oh, Layla, she's a beautiful woman. You know, she was able to have this awesome career. You can't talk about women's boxing and not mention Layla Ali at all. That's a fact. And the fact that, you know, she told her father, like, hey, I'm going to do this regardless if you like it or not, just is a testament to just women's strength, women empowerment. And I was empowered through that to say, doesn't matter who you are, where you come from. If you're able to do it, you're going to do it.
Yeah.
So if you can build your own super fight card, right? Dead or alive, male or female, where would it be and who would you be matching up?
So it would be in Africa.
Okay.
It would be in Equatorial Guinea, Africa. You know, that's the motherland. And then I would say who I would be fighting. That's a great question. I gotta say Katie Taylor.
Okay.
I gotta say Katie. Bring the Ireland fans to Africa.
She's a dog too, though.
She is a dog.
She's a dog.
I love that, though.
That's the main event.
That's the main event.
What about under you?
Under
Male,
me?
female?
Yeah. Co-main, I would have to put Javante Tank with Shakur Stevenson.
Okay.
That would be the co-main.
She likes little people.
I'm crying.
Little light-skinned folks.
Yeah, she's like, you know, I wanted to ask Chan, and you never had to deal with this.
I'm done.
Chan, you never had to deal with this. So I do want to ask this question, right? So in football, it's almost a negative to be attractive or pretty, right? Because you make a play, one, if I'm playing against you, I can't let, especially if you got like nice hair, light skin.
I know.
Not
They're
you.
eating,
No, not
they eating
not.
you up.
Hey, he's kind of talking about me.
They eating you up.
But
They gonna eat you up.
would it be the same in boxing though, right? Like because you can transition both, right? And so like you get to be a part of a world that someone who isn't as attractive, someone who doesn't pay attention to themselves in that way doesn't get to be. Right? And so like when you walk in the ring, you know, like if I was her corner man, if I was the other lady corner man, I'd be like, you let this little cute girl whip you. You know what I mean? Like I would really, like, do you get
She
that?
out there fighting the rugrat.
No.
I'm trying to be.
No, this is facts. I already know people, first off, they already feeling some type of way. Like, damn, she look good and she fight good. I mean, damn.
Right.
Hell yeah, I'm gonna try to knock her face off. You could try, but yeah, no, that's definitely the notion for sure.
Yeah, I would be talking so bad to my fighter in the corner. I'd be like, you saw her at the weigh-in? She combed her hair and everything. Her edges was laid.
Right.
He got the baby hair pushed back with
She
the
got the
double.
stitch braids in, now outfit cold, rewalk. I mean, look.
She was dancing. You gonna let her dance before she get out here?
You see her abs.
Hey.
You see her. Go to her body. Something.
I'm gonna tell you what, I would be shining on my fighter. I'd be like, you know what, it's
Right.
fine then. You don't want to fight.
That's so funny. funny. Yeah, no.
You watch other sports? You like all sports?
I love all sports: football, basketball, hockey. When fitting in there. I love all sports because at first I was just in boxing. It was just boxing, and I'm like, I need to get outside the box. I want to have conversations about sports. Now I can talk about football. Now I can talk about basketball.
Okay, well, who them dudes then? Who them?
Shoot,
You already
well,
did the
shout out
top
to the
three
Eagles.
boxers.
Shout out to the Eagles.
Yeah.
That was a great game last year. I'm excited for football season this year. I think last year was so competitive. I'm like, yo, you can't knock the Commanders because they might come back last minute like they did.
Yeah.
Mess my parlay up. The Eagles doing their thing, just showing out every time, rooting for the Cowboys to do something.
Are you a Cowboys fan?
I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm here. I'm a fan of football. How about that? Because guess what?
On silver and blue.
You got the, I just noticed that you got the colors on, train here.
I'm a fan of football, but I cannot forget, I lived in Detroit for like 6 years, so I was a Lions fan for a little bit. So just seeing the Lions do their thing, I say, yo, listen, they the underdogs, but they showing up every time. And they had such a great season last year. I thought that was great to witness. Again, I love the sports. I love the competitiveness. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's trying to compete to that number one spot. And I feel like this year, with the drafts that they picked up, it should be good.
I got to ask you, keep talking about competitiveness, and it made me think, like you're saying, you covered boxers. We don't see as much like behind the scenes with the female boxers as we do with the men, but the men always have some weird shit that they do. Wake up at 4 a.m. and run, or they, eat rhinoceros horn. Like, they have all kind of weird shit.
Remember when boy drunk his pee-pee?
You know what happened?
He put Pacquiao to sleep. When Pacquiao fell forward.
Margarito.
He did what?
He was drinking his pee.
Yeah, he drank his own pee.
He would drink his pee. He was like, because he said he would lose nutrients. And so he'd pee in his cup and then he'd drink it so he could put the nutrients that his body had already told him he didn't need back in his body to see if his body reconsidered.
Couldn't eat some spinach or a protein shake? That's just nasty.
That's dedication.
I guess so.
That's dedication,
He's dedicated to himself. Literally.
So if Derrick James told you, hey, drink your pee, it's gonna make you a better fighter, would you?
Man, bye. Ain't nobody doing that.
Is there any weird stuff that you do? I don't want to give out all the secrets, but
No, I wouldn't say there's anything weird. One thing about it, I eat what I want during camp because I don't have issues making weight, so I enjoy that. I be having fun with it. I actually enjoy my camps. I'm not suffering like many fighters be suffering in camp. But I don't eat nothing crazy, and I definitely don't drink pee.
Do you have that OCD type thing where it's I gotta get in better shape. I gotta do this. I gotta do that.
Listen, I be coming off with so much energy. I got so much energy. I gotta go run. I gotta do something so I can bring myself back down. But for the most part, I got a good regimen going. You know what I'm saying? I write a lot. That helps me mentally. I think, again, like I told you, it's all mental for me. So as long as I'm getting I do journal, yes.
What has, because it's been recommended to me that I should journal.
You should.
What has journaling sort of helped you process, or how has it helped you process things?
Journaling has allowed me to process my thoughts, my feelings, my emotions, really to hear myself talk. One thing about it, I'm gonna talk out loud. I might be talking in the mirror. I talk to myself, and I have to hear that. I have to hear it out loud because sometimes I just keep it in my mind, and it gets overwhelming. So when I'm able to write it out, it's a release. And then the best part about it is when I go back years later, I've been writing since I was like 7. I can go back and just remember, like, me and my dad went to the gym today and he yelled at me to do better. Like, those things are just the small reminders of the things I've overcame, the things I can remember, the memories. And it's a memory thing for me too, because I used to work in a nursing home. Something I did before I was boxing. Well, I was training and working. And just working in a nursing home and just seeing the elderly people like need help. There was one lady in particular who wrote, and she would go back and read just to remember her life, in a sense, and the things that she had experienced. So I'm just like, I want that So she inspired me to do that too.
Yeah, this is a pivot real quick. What can we expect on July 11th? We all get to turn on Netflix. We all get to watch MVP. We all get to see you in the co-main. What can we expect to see from you on that night?
You're gonna expect everything you think you're gonna expect. And you know what I'm saying? There's no limit when it comes to Alycia Baumgardner, okay? That's one. And two, everything from fight week, from my outfits to my hair to the interviews to the weigh-in outfit to the way I look at weigh-ins, to the face-off, to the ring walkout. You know, I got some exciting people in potential to walk me out. So it's gonna be a moment of time that I have been waiting for a long time. This is my moment. This is the moment for the world to see who Alycia Baumgardner is, who hasn't seen me, who's been waiting to see me, who wants to see me at the biggest stage. And baby, we at the biggest stage. We're at the Garden. And it's live on Netflix. And it's gonna be fireworks. And I've been training my ass off, and I've seen the progression. I love seeing the progression. I ain't even in my prime yet. That's what people gotta understand. And as an athlete who grows, who just learns like this, I'm a sponge. So it's just, okay, bet. I'm gonna apply that there, apply that here. We sparring today, so I get to apply what I learned yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's just like the progression of who I am as an athlete, as a boxer. And a lot of people are gonna be able to see that, what me and Derek James been working on, my defense, my offense, this motherfucking left hook. You know what I'm saying? They seen the right hand, but they ain't seen the left hook. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of them things you're gonna have to tune in live because, baby, you don't wanna miss it.
I love that.
Baumgardner in the Garden. So you spoke about your moment, your biggest pivot, right? We always ask our guests, it's that moment you can look back on and say, because of this happening, I am who I am today.
That's a great question. I would say my biggest pivot would be becoming a world champion, because that's where it started, but that's not where it ends. It's one thing to have a title, but it's another thing to keep your titles, and it's another thing to get rid of your titles and say, hey, I'm taking a challenge. I'm gonna move up in weight. I'll move up to 35. And looking back, I'm like, we can't be satisfied with that. I'm never satisfied as an athlete. So just the biggest pivot is just, okay, what's next? But still take hold of that moment, because sometimes I'll be forgetting the moment. You know, sometimes we've been moving through life as athletes and we forget, or we didn't really like take hold of that moment. But I'm learning that too, to enjoy it too. But yeah, there's so much more.
Well, thank you so much. We can't wait till July 11th. See your hand raised at Madison Square Garden on Netflix. Everybody tap in and watch the champ.
And still.
And still. Pivot fam, thank y'all for pivoting with us. That was so good. We appreciate you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. That was amazing.
Appreciate it. Yes.
We're doing all right on the kicks this show.
No, hey, look at you. I know what you looking at.
Pocket man. I'm a pocket watcher now.
Boy, you are
Look at them chains now.
watcher, man.
Don't you can't tuck them in.
Hey, you know you from Cali, man. He gonna tuck mine.
You can't tuck his like red on Friday. You can't tuck those.
Yeah, these big pieces.
Debo gonna see them.
Man, Jones, man, welcome to the show. This is Fred Taylor. This is Shannon Crowd. I'm Ryan Clark, the Pivot fam. Thank you for pivoting with us. This one, super cool for me, man. Jordan adores you. You know, man, just his opportunity to play with you at ASU, watch you every day. You know, he used to be like, Pop, sometimes Jack, he don't even use the right foot to break. You know what I mean? Like, he just always talked about, man, how talented you are. Obviously, me and Antonio Pierce, are really close. He has a great affinity for you. I actually got to go to the BET Awards, right? And Snoop got the Icon Award, right? That is someone who was close to you or someone you were around growing up, played in the league. Obviously, there at the same high school, was able to see you. What's it like, man, growing up in Cali, having somebody like Snoop give back to the community the way he does and to be a part of that?
I think that was a good thing. I was one of those guys who played in the Snoop Youth Football League. He had shouted it out at the BET Awards, so when he shouted it out, you know, I felt that. But I think Snoop helped out a lot of guys, you know, when he said, I think he said 49 was the number, 49 guys that made it to the NFL, you know, that's big, you know, because he changing a lot of kids' life, and he doing it in a tough/rough area, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, well, without that, I mean, I don't know what it'll look like. And then you got an icon like Snoop who's face all over the internet, face all over your phone, you know what I'm saying? And he's right there, you know, you can go up, talk to him at the games, you know, he's cool, he's approachable. So it's like, for you to have that, for me to have that, it was a blessing, you know what I'm saying? And now that I'm older, I see that, looking back, you know, I don't take that for granted.
Like you say, having that OG that can watch out for you, but you kind of said it, but how getting out of there, but also getting the mindset out of there. Because when you look at your story, you gotten some stuff. I got locked up 4 times. Like, it is what it is. But just getting out of that mindset of coming from nothing and moving to something and having somebody like Snoop, but just having a bigger picture about yourself.
You got people like Snoop in your life that's gonna be the example, but it's honestly up to you to make the decision, you know, which way you wanna go, because, you know, nobody's controlling the decisions you make behind closed doors. So I think it was me, man. I just locked in and I just made the decision, like, you know, this is what I wanna do, you know, this is the direction I wanna go, and I don't wanna be a street dude, quote unquote, you know what I'm saying, and I wanna play football.
Long Beach probably has a long list of legendary guys that have made it to the big level. Like, trying to avoid the pitfalls of being on the streets, like looking at those guys, how did that motivate or influence you to kind of steer clear in a positive direction?
I had a great example before my time, and it's my uncle, you know what I'm saying? I kept hearing stories about my uncle, like crazy stories, like, man, your uncle was the best football player to ever touch Polly. Man, your uncle was better than you. Man, you can't even see your uncle. Your uncle had offered, you know what I'm saying? I'm hearing stories like that all the time. So, but they, at the same time, they telling me these stories, they like, you know, but your uncle chose this route. Don't be like your uncle. Look, then I got friends that, you know what I'm saying, that's doing that. So it's like, that's also another example. But I would really say my uncle, man, I kept hearing it from a young age, like, don't be like your uncle, you know what I'm saying? So I just try to keep my head straight.
Right.
Jack, before you got to ASU, in between leaving USC, what was that time for you, and kind of how difficult was it to take care of yourself while waiting for that next opportunity?
It was tough. It was tough because I never been in a situation like that. Obviously, I come from rough times, Long Beach and all that stuff, but, you know, when I hit high school and really got to playing football, you know, I started to get noticed pretty quick, so, you know, I started to rise pretty quick. So when I got to SC, in my head, I was on top of the world, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, it all ended quick, and I don't know, that JUCO situation, it just, I don't know, it humbled me, you know what I'm saying? It humbled me, it made me open my eyes, like this is a privilege and it can be taken away any moment.
What was that time like, though, in between being kicked out of USC and going to ASU? Like, how difficult was it?
It was tough because I got kicked out, and when I got kicked out, like I said, I was on top, and now when I had to go back home, that's where the decisions start to come in, you know what I'm saying? The decision making, and in my head, you know what I'm saying, I just always thought, like, you know, my parents, we got 4 kids, so I don't want to say we're struggling, but we're not in the best situation, and I know that. So it was like, for me to have this opportunity and then blow it on my own, it was just like, I just kind of felt like I couldn't go home. Like, and obviously my pops, my moms, they never said, nah, you can't come home, but I was just feeling like, man, I didn't want to be that dude to go home because they expected me as a child to go out and take advantage of this opportunity that I had, and I didn't. So, but that's why I say it was tough, man. I made that bad decision, and it almost cost me my career.
Jack, we've talked on this show a few times about Power 5 versus HBCUs. Like, you went to the best of the best. You were 5-star. You went to USC.
Yeah.
Like, the facilities probably don't get any better across, you know, Power 5 schools. But then you were humbled and had to go to Moore Park College.
Yeah.
Right? Not even HBCU. It's like right there, like almost out of football.
Yeah.
Like, how humbling was that? Like, describe for us, like, the facilities, the differences.
No, it was really humbling because I couldn't play football at JUCO. I was straight school. I had went through that little case situation, so I'm walking around school with an ankle monitor on, and I'm class to class, study hall to study hall, and back to my home. That's all it was, but the reason I couldn't play football in JUCO is because they said, you can't play 2 years of Division I football and play your 3rd at a JUCO and then go to the NFL. It was some rule like that.
Right.
So I just had to sit out that year, get my academics right, and call AP, yeah, that happened.
I want to ask about that, man. Antonio Pierce, we had him on the show. He's one of my closest friends. Like, he is what you see, right? That's who AP is. What was that phone call like, though, when you guys started to discuss you becoming a part of ASU under Herm Edwards?
He asked me where I was at. He was like, so where you at? Like, what you doing? Situation and everything. And I told him the whole situation. I'm like, it's done. I'm handling it. And I told him I'm in school right now. And then he connected me with like an academic advisor at ASU. Ever since then, I just been calling the academic advisor back and forth, like, yo, am I on track for this? I'm on track for that, because at first I was going to Houston. I thought I was going to Houston. I was talking to the coach, and then one day he called me. He was like, yo, we checked the transcripts, and I guess something don't match up, or you don't have the credit, something. And then I called AP, and then, ever since then, I was back and forth with the academic coach and, made sure I was doing what I was supposed to.
But through all of that, did you ever lose hope?
Oh, for sure.
Cause it seemed like a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Of that, and you ain't even make it to the league yet.
Yeah,
you were 18, bro, football might not be the thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
when did you lose hope, and what were some of those down times like?
Honestly, when I went to jail, man, when I sat in that cell, I told myself, I was like, man, it's over. Like, I thought it was done. I don't know. I ain't got no quit in me, man. But I ain't gonna act like I did it myself, because it was times, and I had conversations with, some of my peers, some of my friends, like, man, I think I'm done with football. I got a good circle of good friends around me, and they'll cut that out quick. What you mean you done with football? Nah, bro, you ain't done with football. You gonna keep going. Don't quit on it. And that's all it really took for me, because it was like, I didn't want to quit, but I just had it in the back of my head. I'm like, damn, it's over. I was telling myself negative thoughts, and I didn't let it get to me, though.
Jack, that was the time that you were without a team, and this is where you are now. You are a free agent in the NFL. You're with the Raiders, cut right before OTAs. What are your thoughts now, right? When you wake up in the morning, you know you don't have a team. When you go get on the grind, what's your motivation and what's driving you every day to still put in that work?
I would say the last situation I've been through, the JUCO, the ASU, all that stuff, that just kind of molded me. Like, I don't even know what that is. I just can't quit. Like, hypothetically, God forbid, say I don't get a call, I'm still not gonna stop. I'm still gonna keep working out, still try to get on the team, go play UFL, XFL, whatever the case may be, and just keep working until I get another shot in the NFL. But I'm gonna keep playing football as long as my legs work.
Jack, man, I want to take it to a happier time, man. Let's go back to Christmas 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? We in Kansas City, playing against the almighty Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs. Honestly, man, it's the play and the day that got Antonio Pierce the head coaching job. Bro, you get the pick, you're running, Patrick Mahomes is kind of chasing you, and you just eyeballing him. Take me through that whole sequence, man, and when you're running back to the end zone, dog, like what is your thought?
So on a play he rolled out, I seen him roll out, and then if you watch the replay, he kind of like floated the ball, like I don't know, it wasn't enough heat, and in my head when I seen it, I'm like, oh, it's mine, and I grabbed it. When I grabbed it, I was looking at him like, don't catch me, but then once I got past him, I did want to say, like, you can't fuck with me, like, you know what I'm saying? I want to pop my stuff, but I'm like, I had too much respect for him, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's Patrick Mahomes, like, one of the greatest quarterbacks, so it was like, it was just a stare down, like, I'm here, you know what I'm saying?
But your rookie year, didn't you have a pick six off of Aaron Rodgers, too?
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers, yeah.
Like, what was that moment like? Did you feel the same?
No, on that one, I was more so trying to prove myself, man. That was like a proving game. I was in New England. That was my first time starting. I was just locked in. I don't know. And I remember it was a play before that. He had ran like a fire out, and I seen it. And I was like, man, I could have picked that. Like, let me go get that next time. And then that next time came up, and I went and got it, you know what I'm saying? But, nah, with the A-Rod one, I ain't think nothing like that. I was just hungry.
Right. Jack, none of those plays got to be more fun, though, than the screen. Who was the screen against?
I was Chargers.
Right, you playing the Chargers, right? You clearly you knew what was coming.
Yeah.
But like the thing I say always separates like the good players, and he's a great player. He'll be a Hall of Famer one day. The good players and the great players is the willingness to believe what they see.
Yeah.
Jack, you were so far in the backfield on the screen, you had to turn around basically.
Yeah, I almost overran it.
You almost, like, how you overrun a ball that's 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage at corner, I don't know. Bro, like, what coverage were you in and what tipped you off that was gonna be the play?
What tipped me off was the motion in.
Right.
When I seen the motion in, I was like, I gotta go get it. But what allowed me to go get it was cover 2, you know what I'm saying? Because if it was in cover 3, even man-to-man,
play deep part of the field.
I doubt I would have jumped it like that, you know what I'm saying? But we was cover 2, I had a safety over top, I seen the motion out from in. I'm like, yeah, that's me. I gotta go get that. But I was doing it so quick though, like you say. And that's why I caught it with one hand. I didn't catch it with one hand intentionally. Like, I almost overran it and I just had to reach back and grab it and just kept going.
Man, listening to these plays, bro, you know, pick dog, pick 6, AY, pick 6, Mahomes, all that stuff, bro. Picking off screens, overrunning the screen, which is crazy. I gotta go watch that play. I ain't seen that one, I ain't gonna lie. What's stopping you from being on the team? Why did 2 teams now say, I can't be there? What do you need to improve on?
And that's a good question. I'm glad you asked that so I could express myself. It's me, you know what I'm saying? It's nothing else. Like I said before, you know, playing in the NFL is a privilege, and if you don't take advantage of the privilege, then you're gonna lose that privilege, you know, in a heartbeat. And you know, for all the young guys that's out there watching, I hope they use me, as an example. Like, this could be going in a heartbeat, no matter how good you are, how talented you are. But man, I just can't wait to prove myself, you know, looking forward to the next team. Like I said, I'm working out every day, just going hard, man, just ready to prove myself and show that I am who I say I am, and I'm not who they think I am.
But you talking about on the field, you can do it all.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You talking about you got it. You need somebody to believe in you off the field as
but
well.
I gotta show before you believe. So that's me taking that step, and I'm gonna take that step. I'm gonna do what I gotta do.
I see similar characteristics in AP, who I love to death.
Yeah.
Like just playing against him, competitor, seeing him coach, you know, rooting for him to be successful there, looking for an opportunity as well. Do you think him being there gave you more of a chance to kind of grow, you know, to become the person you are? Tell us a little bit about you guys' relationship and what he truly means to you.
First of all, let me shout out Coach Kim, Monica Kim, and let me shout out Antonio Pierce, Coach Pierce. Without them two, you know, this whole thing probably wouldn't even be possible. You know, Coach Kim was the head of it all. You know, you see AP face because, you know, he's the head coach, but, you know, without Coach Kim, you know, AP probably wouldn't even know who I am, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to Coach Kim, but AP, nah, man, he helped me out through it all. You know, I remember one of the first conversations we had, I was playing DB, you know, this was high school. He came in my junior year. I was playing DB. My sophomore year, I played safety. I was about like 140, soaking wet. You know what I'm saying? That's safety, but I'm flying around making plays. But when he seen me, though, he was like, man, you're not no corner, you're a receiver. But the way he said it, and me being young, where I'm from, I'm like, what? Like,
right.
Man, you don't know who you talking to, like. But he changed my position and he changed my life, because that's where all my offers came from. And to be honest, I love receiver, you know what I'm saying? That was one of the positions, but I had moved back to DB because it was honestly a battle between me and AP. Like, nah, bro, I'm a DB. I'm gonna show you that I'm a DB, you know what I'm saying? Like, but nah, AP mean the world to me, man. I'm forever appreciative. I appreciate him, you know what I'm saying, and everything he done, and he know what he means to me, you know what I'm saying? And I thank him for everything.
You know, Jordan talks about it, AP talks about it. Like, you are a football player.
Yeah.
The way you see the game, the way you see life, all of those things are the sort of mentalities that make you a 5-star, that put you on the field early at USC, that allow you to transfer to Arizona State and make plays. Like, we just had a running conversation about your NFL pick sixes. You know, I put myself on blast. I ain't got one. You know what I mean? I played 13 years. Like, you are a special football player. You know, you mentioned it was you, right? You were the reason. Why should somebody believe that this special football player that's always made plays, that off the field stuff has made him switch teams, why is somebody to believe that you can change that and you will change that?
It's the day-to-day. It's about being consistent. I be consistent by showing up and proving that, you know what I'm saying? I could sit here and tell you I'm gonna be perfect all day. I could sit here and tell you I'm gonna go 10 for 10 always, but you know, without the work, without the effort, without the consistency, then it's all talk. You know, I'm gonna just show up and prove it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever team need a corner, gonna give me an opportunity, I'm gonna show up and prove it every day. You know, I'm gonna be the best guy on the field, and I'm gonna be the best guy in the film room.
I love that. When you look back at sort of the things that made you the way you are, right? Being from where you're from in California, like, we know gang experiences are high there, right? Gang activity is high there. We know that those are places that you can get caught up in the things around you and the things that you see. What was it that allowed you to avoid those things and continue playing football at a high level like you have?
I would say football. Football and the friends you keep, man. That's a real quote, you know. You show me your friends, I'll show you your future, you know. That's a real thing. The friends I was with in high school, you know, we was all ball. We all wanted the same thing. We was all chasing the same thing, so we would all go work out every day. We working out every day. We just chasing football. If I was with my homies that was in the streets and it was dibbling back and forth, then I probably wouldn't be here. But, you know, like I said, I made up my mind, and I hung out with the right guys, and we got to work.
I was supposed to get drafted first round. I was an All-American.
Yeah.
But I wasn't an All-American after practice ended.
Yeah.
God, really, in UF Gainesville, they locked me up, assault and all this. So I was a fighter.
Yeah.
Somebody say something crazy. I was from Atlanta. You called me a bitch. You got to get punched in the face.
Yeah.
Now as a 41
like
year
California.
Yeah, California thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's the whole thing. And I told the NFL coaches, I was at the combine. They kind of asked me, "Yeah, why are you getting arrested so much?" I said, "Coach, I can't deal with disrespect." And through time now, being 41, now I've been retired 12 years. So now I understand at 41, I understand what 21-year-old me was thinking. Yeah. And I wish I could go talk to him. What would you say to yourself 7, 8 years ago? Could you really address yourself? Because the trouble you talking about and the things that go and the Wikipedia stuff and the records, that shit's always gonna be on wax.
Yeah.
What would you go back and tell yourself? And what are those? I know I had an anger management problem, and I know now they can call me a bitch all day, and I walk away smiling. You a bitch. Have a good one, Freddie. Yeah. I ain't gonna jump on him. But at 18, 19, I'm gonna jump on him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like when you talk about like growing, if you go back and talk to your 18-year-old self, how could you, and to be honest, how can these teams know that you have grown now?
It's bigger than me, man. I got kids depending on me, man. I got my girl depending on me. I got family members depending on me, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I would just emphasize that it's bigger than me. And once you take I out of the equation, you know, that make you go so much harder for other people, for your loved ones.
You were drafted to a Belichick-led team.
Yeah.
What did you learn from that experience? Because that's a place where discipline is important. That's a place where being on time is important. That's a place where being accountable is important. Freddie T says it all the time, you know, do business as being done. Was there anything that you can go back to that experience and say, okay, going forward, some of those things I learned could help me from a guy like a Bill Belichick?
First of all, man, I appreciate Bill, man, and I thank Bill for, you know, taking the opportunity on me. But, man, I just was young, man. I wasn't carrying myself right about the building. I don't know, just the discipline level of it just taught me, like, the stuff that's going on outside of the building, you can't bring it to the building. And I was honestly, my first couple of years, I was having troubles with that. I was having problems with that because it was like, I'm a dude who I'm gonna wear it on my sleeve. If I'm mad, you're gonna see that. You know, I learned from that situation, but I definitely learned from there. It's like the stuff that happened outside is outside, and the stuff that happened inside is inside, you know what I'm saying? But that's just like the going with your quote, like, handle business as being done, you know, and you ain't got no girlfriend up at that building, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got no kids at that building, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got family members at that building. When you go up there, it's football and it's friends. And that's what I learned. I also learned ball too, though, because Bill Belichick and that whole program or whatever, they taught me ball, man. They taught me ball. Just going from ASU to New England, man, I learned a lot of football, and I think that's why I was able to have such a good year, my rookie year, because I learned a lot from Bill and Mike and New England.
That's awesome, man.
I learned that quote from Bill in year 12 when I was a free agent in my time in New England, and I just embraced it all. But as you are, the NFL is a business, right? And as you're sitting there waiting for another opportunity, doing business as it's being done, what are you doing to, one, stay focused on that, but also to keep yourself busy with maybe something else that you have a passion for? Like, I think music is a big thing.
Yeah, a little bit of music, man. I go to the studio a little bit, but I don't release no songs. This is just, you know, I just go to the
Could be therapy.
Yeah, that's it. Just go to the studio, just hang out, make a song or something. But for the most part, man, I play the game, man. I get on the game, play Call of Duty, play NCAA, play Madden, play something, you know what I'm saying? But that's my getaway zone, man. I go and play the game, you know, stay out the streets, stay from outside, you know, I'm in the house with my girl, my son, and I'm just on the game.
You playing the guitar and the piano, or you got bars?
Nah, I'm more of a like rapper, but I ain't no rapper though.
Hey, I ain't a rapper. But he's not a rapper.
Yeah.
We all come from these different places. When people are from New Orleans, they're very passionate about what New Orleans is and about what having the area code 504 means, right? Where he's from, Belglades, right? They're very passionate about who they are. You know what I'm saying? Atlanta's not really as much, but like Atlanta as well.
What did you just say about Atlanta?
No, I'm just joking. Atlanta as well. When you think about the culture of LA, when you think about the sort of people that have made it out, then also too, man, some of the greats from LA that we've lost too soon, right? What is it that you're proud of about where you're from?
From Long Beach. I'm proud of my city that made me. I don't know. Proud of everything. I appreciate everything, because without that journey, then I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't have that dog I got in me today. I wouldn't have that fight, that relentlessness. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I appreciate Long Beach for everything, man. For the relationships I had back at home, for the teachers that said hurtful things to me. You know what I'm saying? And I really don't mean this in no envious way. Like, I really mean, like, I appreciate that, because without that, then I wouldn't have made it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I still do think about some of the stuff that I was told back in high school, good and bad, like, you know what I'm saying? But I appreciate the whole thing, man. I'm really blessed to be in this situation, coming where I'm coming from, you know, to have the relationships that I got, man. And I appreciate it all, man. But I love my city. It's on me forever, and I'm a forever rebel.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's dope, man. You know, it was obviously Snoop first for a kid from Louisiana.
Yeah.
Like, Snoop was like the first time I even ever heard of Long Beach.
Yeah.
Like, you know, to be honest, and then it continues to grow, and it's become, especially Long Beach Poly, back, you know, a few years ago, the sort of football players that they were putting out, right? What they do in college, guys going to the league. If you weren't doing football, what would and where would Jack Jones be? You said that football is what kept you from the rest of it, right? That passion. So what would you be doing if you didn't have football?
I don't even want to put it on camera. You know what I'm saying? It's football. That's what I am. I'm a football player. I don't want to talk about what could have been or if it didn't happen. And I hate that, man. It's football, man. And I've been playing football since I could walk. It was no other sport, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't soccer, baseball, basketball, track and field. Never ran track and field. It was football. I played football. Football wasn't in season. We outside in the field playing football with some friends. That stuff ain't, you know what I'm saying? That stuff for the birds.
That's honestly, man, there's no better answer than that, bro. Wow. Yeah. There is no better answer.
RC speaks about his plan A, or not having the plan B, because he's so tied into plan A, which I think is great.
Yeah.
But I do want to ask you, because of, you know, having been released and now waiting for another opportunity, going back to the situation from USC, having to go to JUCO, do you think that prepared you for, you know, what you're going through or experiencing now as you wait for another opportunity? I'm talking about in terms of masking or minimizing the frustrations, understanding the patience game, and just continue to stay focused, steering clear of trouble so you can get that shot.
Absolutely, because I continuously tell myself to this day, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna keep telling myself, like, I've been here before, and I ain't breaking, I ain't gonna break now, you know what I'm saying? So one foot in front of the other, keep working, and when that call happened, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know, I don't want to be looking up just trying to what if, and because, you know, it's too much hope, and that had your heart beating fast, you know what I'm saying? Too much anxiety, you know what I'm saying? just one foot in front of the other, man. Just keep working, head down, work. That call gonna happen when it happens, God's timing.
And the silver lining is, I just met you say your son was like a year and a half?
Yeah.
He gonna be causing hell in about another 6 to 8 months in the cabinets and everything. The silver lining though, the opportunity to spend more time at home, you know, you want to be in OTAs and all that different stuff. I get it, but there's always a positive in these sort of moments. Like, talk to us about, you know, that, seeing him grow and being there right now.
No, it is a positive being around my son, because if I wasn't at the house, then I'd be at football practice or OTAs, you know what I'm saying, working out for however many hours. But we understand, me and my girl, like, it's ball, you know what I'm saying? So ball first. I ain't gonna say ball first because it's family first, but we understand it's ball, and ball is what's gonna take care of us, you know what I'm saying? So, but nah, it's good to see my son, man, but I'm definitely still working out. We gotta go work out, you know what I'm saying? You gotta get that hour in a day, you know what I'm saying? But it's definitely good to see my son a lot more than what I was seeing him during the season.
Right.
As you watch games, and as you really, I don't even grow, but really get older, watch football, watch people getting drafted and all that, you really have a gift.
He does.
Are you starting to appreciate that gift more? Because I'll be honest, I don't think I appreciated my gifts like I should have early in my career. Do you appreciate, honestly, you worked for some, but God gave you some of them. Are you appreciating those gifts now? If you can watch people play and you can see folks that got jobs, that I would say I didn't have a job, and I was still better than some of the motherfuckers out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But not you, but did you appreciate those gifts, and are you starting to look at it differently?
I definitely do, but I also feel like at the same time I'm shorting myself, because, you know, when I'm training in the off season, it's no DB work. I don't have a DB trainer. Like, I ain't never had a DB trainer my whole life. It's just stay in shape, you know what I'm saying? However, I gotta stay in shape, but I think once I find a coach, find somebody solid in the off season, we can spend however many weeks together, then I think I'll be taking full advantage of you know, my talent, but definitely I do appreciate it though.
I know you live here, but I'll be in Arizona from June until training camp every week, 2 days a week, Monday and Thursday.
I'm gonna be out there. I gotta go home and see my daughter for about 2 weeks, and I'm gonna leave and go back to Arizona probably like beginning of July, end of June.
What's your best 40 ever?
My best 40?
Yeah.
4.5.
I ran 4.5. I was hurt.
He just look a little quicker than you.
He's way quicker than me.
If you can get your feet work into them legs,
he's way quicker.
I think we got action.
But hey, I tell you what I do know how to do though. Because I wasn't fast, I know how to get it and I know how to coach it.
Yes.
So now hit me up. We can do that. I do want to ask this though, man. It's pretty cool transition. He asked you about being able to spend more time with your son. I'm obviously going to be in Arizona because I'll be training Jordan and all the people who are working out there. It's June, it's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. It's also Father's Day.
Yeah.
You seem to be really dialed in. You just said, you know, you talked about having your son, but go and see your daughter. When you think about the type of father you want to be, what do you want those kids to see in you?
I want them to see me and say, Daddy never quit. Life gonna get hard, but I think that you need to go through them hard times to get to where you wanna go, because it's like, wherever you're trying to go is precious. And for you to have something precious, you gotta go through something hard, or because anything that's worth having is not easy, you know what I'm saying? So, Daddy never quit. And if Daddy never quit, then I don't never need to quit. I'm gonna make sure my kids grow up different, you know what I'm saying, around a lot more money than I grew up around, but it's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be handouts. I just wanna instill that in my kids, that life is hard, and when the hard times come, you can't quit. You gotta go harder.
You look at where you are now. You have made more plays than many people who are in mini camps these weeks. You started more games than many people who have helmets and roster spots. When you think about the way you'll enter the building with your next opportunity, what do you think is most important to show that next coach, that next organization, that next locker room?
That I'm here for ball, and all the outside noise that I'm pretty sure they hearing, you know, the Jack is hanging out with the wrong group, Jack don't always make the right decisions, you know, I'm gonna be there and I'm gonna prove that wrong, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna show up, like I say, show up every day, go to work, put on my hard hat, you know, close my mouth and just get to work. The next team I go to, wherever team it is, you know, I don't expect them to be like, yo, Jack, you made X amount of plays, you're a starter. Nah, man, start me with the fourth group, with the last group. I'll work my way up. That ain't nothing to me. I'm cool with proving myself, but just give me a chance to prove myself, because I'm willing to prove myself and do it every day.
You seem different, right? And I can be honest, like, we didn't talk a lot when you were in school. I don't know a ton about you personally other than what people have told me, but, you know, you had being kicked out of USC, right? You had being in a jail cell, right? You had not getting your transcripts right for Houston. Like, it's been adversity, Jack. Like, you've been faced with not having football before. And the conventional mind would say all of those things didn't necessarily change decision making. What is it about, whether it's you right now or the situation you're in right now, that has you speaking with such clarity that the next time will be so different for you?
Because I went through what I went through. If I wouldn't have went through what I went through, then I probably wouldn't be talking this confident, you know what I'm saying? But I went through what I went through, and man, it really made me open my eyes like that. This is a privilege, and it could be taken away anytime. And if there's something that I say I want, I gotta prove that I want it by showing up, being consistent, doing what I'm supposed to, doing what I'm asked to do, you know what I'm saying, and doing it at a high level.
But you are your resume. Back to what I was saying, bro. I was a problem.
Yeah.
I was a problem.
Yeah.
You're your resume.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But your resume has some hellified ups.
Man, highlights.
Hellified ups,
Highlights.
bro. But those downs are what you're fighting, to be honest. I'll be honest with you as a unk.
Yeah.
Those downs are what you're fighting, kind of along that line of Ryan, where teams want to figure out why those lows come and address them. You had to address those things. I just partied. I was a partier, and they knew it. Everybody went around, drafted me. They knew crowd was gonna go out. Crowd was gonna party and all that stuff. So that's the kind of the transition of it. Are the kids the reason to change? What's that reason for your change? Because that's what you need, is those lows on their resume. There has to be a reason for a transition.
Like I say, my kids, family member, girls, they counting on me, and me wanting to play football. And if I lose football, then I'm losing what I want, and I'm hurting my family members who count on me, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I gotta change. I don't have no choice but to change, and if I don't change, then I'm gonna be doing stuff I don't wanna do, you know what I'm saying? Working out for a team I might not wanna play for. It's just about, like I say, putting the next foot in front of the other, keeping a good mindset, and keep going. And I'm here today thinking with this positive mindset because I've been through it before, and I know how to handle it. I know where to go when I need this help. I know where to go when I need this help. I got people in my corner, my girl, I got help from people, and I just need to start reaching out, and that's what I learned.
Who do you talk to, Jack? Like when you mentioned bringing the outside stuff into the building, or whatever it was that caused tension in Las Vegas, is there a person or are there people that you could get on the phone with and say, hey man, this is what I'm going through, how would you handle it? This is what I'm going through, what decisions should I make? Because we talk about it on this show all the time, bro. Like, our careers, our lives, whatever it is, like, they aren't this linear transfer of experiences that you don't need other people's help, right? Do you have people that you feel like you could lean on when you get in these times where things could seem overwhelming?
Absolutely. Some of the people I named earlier, Coach Kim, AP, I called TJ Husmanzada. Those some of the main three that I called. Like, you know, when I got a question about whatever it may be, you know, most of the stuff is football, but you know, whatever it may be, I call them like no hesitation. You know, they pick up the phone. If not, they'll call me right back. But those the people I run to, and they've been helping me out a lot.
I'm a tattoo man, right? Like, I get some tats, we all are, obviously, and some are more meaningful than others.
Yeah.
I see NFL right there on your knuckle.
Yeah.
I was trying to make out what it says below that. But I see Jackie.
Yeah.
I see MLK over there.
Yeah.
Is that a Jack?
Yeah, that's a Jack card.
Oh, the Jack card right there. Like, give me a story behind, like, your most meaningful
piece of art?
I go through some of them. The NFL one is just never forget loyalty. That's why I got that, you know what I'm saying? It's just the loyal ones who've been loyal to me, you know, I never forget about them, and I always got them, you know, even if it seemed like I don't, we ain't talking every day, I'm still here, you know what I'm saying? But then this right here is, this is my grandma's name, my grandma Jackie, and her favorite color is yellow, so I got a sunflower. And then I got my mom on the inside, my guardian angel, and I just got a crown, got the city right here. And then MLK, I just got that just young.
Hey, my man went through all the tattoos. He got to like a historical civil rights activist, and he goes, I just got that one. I was young.
Look at this one.
The no fear with the
fear
tribal
with
is
the
terrible.
tribal ring. That was the young dumb shit for me.
Stripper mode.
Who does that? That was my stripper tattoo. That's why I keep my sleeves.
Man, how old were you when you did that?
I was 18.
First one?
It was close.
Man.
Yeah, that just there alone is crazy. That right? I make it on with just that.
No, but Jack, just
You might as well get a belly button tattoo.
right around the sunflower.
Get that freaky Z, that Zion.
Right. Jack, something stood out to me, man. You spoke about loyalty.
Yeah.
Right, and as a young guy, you know, we want to make sure we remember where we come from.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people that have taken chances on us coming up, you say, I got you.
Yeah.
You know, but you also got to find a balance so that you don't put yourself in the negative, where you're underwater.
Yeah.
Now, speak to that, you know, that loyalty theme to make sure that, yeah, I got you, but there's a thin line. Like, I can't have you bringing issues my way.
Yeah.
So we got to play each other at a distance, because I got to be right. Because if you crack the piggy bank, then we lose everything.
Nah, yeah, well, I talk to my homies about that all the time, man. And my homies is smart enough to understand the situation that I'm in. They smart enough to see that the situation that I went through last time was eating me, and I don't want to go through that no more. So when we go out or anything like that, we get together, and I don't hang out with a bad group of guys. Like, the friends I hang out with, they don't have no criminal record. Like, so I'm gonna just put that there. Like,
right.
But when we go out though, it's don't start nothing, it won't be nothing. We don't plan on finishing nothing. We can always walk away. And I tell them out my mouth, you know what I'm saying? This is me talking. I say, bro, if we get into a fight and we go and beat this dude up, who face gonna be on the news? This gonna be yours or it's gonna be mine?
Right.
And so it's like, come on, bro. It's like, we all love each other here, so it's like, do something for your loved one and just, you know what I'm saying, calm down when we go out. And
Yeah, I asked that because I know we have a lot of impressionable young guys that aspire to be where we all are watching the show. And they get lost in that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I gotta be here, I gotta look out for the hood, I gotta look out for my people, but there's a way to do it.
Nah, yeah,
so
I'm
that's why
strict with mine. Ain't no knuckleheads with me.
Right,
I ain't gonna lie. Ain't anybody who wanna quote unquote crash out, yeah, you crash out by yourself. We ain't crashing out over here, you know what I'm saying? We just trying to have fun, you know what I'm saying? Get back home safe to our babies, you know what I'm saying? But
have you had to cut anybody off though?
Oh,
Jack?
absolutely.
Yeah, like make smart decisions.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And it come with a heartbeat, and it come, like, it's like I love you, but at the same time, fuck you, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like you trying to tear me down, you know what I'm saying? But, and I can't have that, because like I say, it's bigger than me. I got people, babies, family members counting on me. And I cut somebody off in a heartbeat, you know what I'm saying?
That's smart though, man.
Yeah, no, so I was trying to lay up for the biggest pivot question. And we always ask our guests on the show, what's their biggest pivot in life?
Yeah.
That's that one moment you can look back on and say, because of this happening or without this happening to me or for me, I wouldn't be who I am today.
I'd probably say sitting in that jail cell, man. Sitting in that jail cell, going through that time, having to do that time. Man, that was rough, man. That was rough without that, because it was that in that moment right there, it felt like football was gone. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was no football at all. It was, I wasn't gonna play another snap, like, you know what I'm saying? And I was in JUCO, so I couldn't play football too, so it was really tough. But that moment right there, I would say that was my pivot in life, where it was a wake-up call, like, which way you wanna go? You wanna go left or you wanna go right, you know what I'm saying? So.
Crazy how God works, ain't it?
Yeah.
Boy.
Absolutely, man.
I'm glad we got to sit down and have the conversation. You know, before we even did it, I was hoping, one, that you were as open about things as you were, and that I'd learn and that other people get an opportunity to learn how much you've actually grown. And from me for sure, and I know from both of them, like we're just praying you get another opportunity. And honestly, I'm praying that you get to show everyone that whoever makes that decision, they were right to give you another chance, man. But happy Father's Day to you, bro. Appreciate you coming. Your baby's outside, you know what I'm saying, your girl as well, man. But best of luck, man. I'll see you in AZ.
Can I hold your baby?
No, bro. So, no, he tried to. They had a baby on the set.
Look at you like.
They had a baby on set one time, right, Jack? And he kept saying, "No, I'm gonna make the baby be quiet." Man, he held that baby. The baby down there.
Baby went crazy
When he held the baby.
We've been telling Slay, this the AFC North.
Yeah.
Banging. Everybody's banging.
Even when you got to go tackle the receivers in Cincinnati, you better go tackle.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
But T
and Jamar?
T is a big old boy. Goodness gracious. DK bigger than T.
Hell yeah.
It's portion different too.
Yeah.
Like T built like a hooper.
Yes, it is.
You know what I'm saying? But DK is built like a lab rat that people got bored with.
Tippy toes like a baby.
You ain't lying.
Damn.
I'm too big.
Jay, welcome to the Pivot, man, for the second time.
Yes, sir.
You know, the first time we did it was different circumstances. You were already an All-Pro and Pro Bowler, but now things have shifted and changed to where you're in a part of your career where people speak of you oftentimes, and the gold jacket conversation starts. Fred Taylor, Channing Crowder, and Ryan Clark. Pivot fam, thank y'all for pivoting with us on this training camp tour. I'm going to ask you the question that Channing Crowder often asks himself when he says, why couldn't I have played for Mike T? I try to explain to people when I'm on TV, the ceiling he has as a coach, I believe, is higher than any coach I've ever been around. The way he motivates, the way he prepares, the way he thinks, the way he communicates. What's it been like getting to know Mike T in your short stint here so far in Pittsburgh?
It's been one of the best experiences ever. Even I was talking to my pops today, and he was asking me about how camp has been going and stuff like that. And I'm like, yo, it's in the weirdest way. This is the first time I've had to go to a college, stay in the dorm rooms, do all of that. It ain't, as nice or whatever. It's old school a little bit. But I'm like, this is the most fun training camp I've ever been a part of. It's the most that I've enjoyed football, the most that I've enjoyed my teammates, being around my teammates, my coaches, and everything, because I feel like everything done went back to the basics. It's about ball. It's about the right stuff. It's about the relationships. And Mike T, he 101. Obviously, I have a great relationship with Coach McVay out in LA, and we had our great times, and still a great friend of mine. But Mike T, different. He different. Obviously, we already connect because he defensive minded, especially with the secondary. But just his messaging, his motivation, the way he is a true leader, I just sit in his meetings and I'm like, dang, because I want to be a high school football coach one day, so I'm sitting in his meetings yeah, I gotta use that one day. This gon' hit.
Yeah.
That's how I am listening to him, and then talking to some of my teammates and they feel the same way about him. It's yo, you can see why he's had so much success throughout his coaching career, because it's a random Tuesday and he'll have that whole locker room ready to run through a wall for him. No joke. All the essence of what football is about, he emphasizes it. Toughness, being well-conditioned. Yo, if Jalen got a vet day, Slay got a vet day, we don't expect a drop-off. It's no gray area. It's no, okay, well, Jalen out or Slay out, so this will be a little bit worse over here. Nah, it's did we win or not? Were we successful or did we fail? Did we get better or did we not? It ain't no gray area. It's black and white. This is what we about around here. Were y'all tough today? Were you well-conditioned? Were you running to the ball? Were you on your alignment, your assignment, your technique? It ain't no excuses. It ain't no this, no that. And I just respect that more than anything, because, you've been around and you have things that happen, and as a team, you'll make excuses for yourself. But I don't think that's how you can be successful. I don't think that's how you can be elite or great, if you making excuses for yourself, or what we call it here is comfort seeking. If you always comfort seeking, then you can't be elite. You can't be great.
You are a true mother effing Steeler already.
Man, I'm trying to tell you, man. You think I'm playing? I be sitting in them meetings oh yeah, this gonna hit when I'm in high school. I'm gonna have all the kids. I'm gonna have them kids in high school. Man, I'm serious, man. I'm just like, I'm in awe. Just not even just with Mike T. Obviously, it starts from the head man, but it trickles down like my position coaches and like everybody. Like it's the same messaging. It's all of that. So I'm just in awe of just being in these guys' presence and still learning even in year 10 and trying to go out there and, keep my game at an elite level while also helping the younger guys make sure that they on that as well. And it's a blessing, honestly.
I'm always in awe when we come up here because I've been watching the Steelers for years. They got the same type people, not the same people. Got TJ, before that was Debo. Then they had Peasy. You just go back to what they had. C. Hampers in the middle, Kaiser was in the middle. That same person. You feel that? Do you know that these different teammates than where you've been? Not bad mouthing anywhere else, but just seeing the guys that they bring into this organization.
It's real. Mike T and Omar, they construct the team. We want these type of guys. We want kind of old school, hard-nosed guys, fierce guys, maybe a little edgy. Sometimes we gotta tell them, hold on a little bit. And yeah, my teammates are definitely like that. And I think that's another plus of being here is like we are all very similar. So we all get along. We all are into the same type of things. We all love the hell out of football. Like we really don't have a bunch of other interests. Like it's God, family, and damn it, football. It's like like that's how it is. So it's been a joy. It's been a blessing, being around these guys.
Hey, Jay, before I ask my question, I got a little pivot trivia for you.
What's up?
Something that we all got in common.
Is this a trick question? It's not a Super Bowl.
Hey, calm down. Yeah, that we all have in common.
We black, brother.
I was gonna say the same thing. We black men.
I mean, not that. That is easy.
You said it's not a trick question.
Make you think a little bit. It's not.
But you gotta give us.
He's played for every team that we've played for.
Wow.
Damn.
I damn sure have.
Well, I bounced around a little bit, but yeah, he's played for the main team.
Yeah,
Jacksonville,
but
Miami, Steelers.
Right. Just
100%.
Correct. But just explain to us or talk to us about the process, the acquisition.
Yeah.
And because Coach T told us he knew a little something when they acquired the whole Aaron Rodgers thing. How did it come about with you? Because the entire offseason kind of was unfolding, and then all of a sudden, pop up, you're a Steeler. How did that all kind of take place?
It was in the works for a little minute, I would say.
So he knew something else.
It was in the works, but things had to get put together the right way. Things had to come together from my standpoint to the Dolphins, to the Steelers. I think all of us had to come to I guess you could say agreement. We all had to come to a consensus on what it would be. I do appreciate the Dolphins and them working with me and David, not just, hey, this team called and, we're going to send you here and this and that. Like, it wasn't any of that. It was very open communication with, this is, y'all been good to us, I've been good to y'all. Like, let's do it the right way. Let's go to a team that's going to be able to compete. Let's go to a team where there's a lot of respect for the head coach in there and, the staff, a place where I can continue developing, playing at a high level, maybe be versatile. And then, I had to let David do his thing too. The money was involved. So he did his thing with that. And then, obviously the Steelers, they really wanted me here. And, at the end of the day, I wanted to be here as well. And so I just it got to a certain point where I was like, everything is good on my end. Let's get the business handled. Y'all do that part, and y'all let me know when it's a go. So that kind of took a little minute to get done. But once that got done, it was like, let's go.
You speak of David Mulligetta. Could you imagine, he is the GOAT, could you imagine a world where somebody put you in the room, thought they came to an agreement, and didn't speak to David?
No chance. No chance. No chance. I would laugh at it. They would. You would think they would know better. That's all I'm gonna say. You would think that they would know better.
With him for sure.
With him for sure.
Hey,
you would think they would know better.
In preparing for this, like it's always difficult for me to do people who I'm friends, to have conversations with people I'm friends with.
Yeah.
Right? Because you talk to them in other times and it's like, man, what have we talked about or what have we said that I think would be good for people, I'm going to tell you something that we haven't talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Two of my favorite players that have ever played the game, both last name Woodson, Rod Woodson, Charles Woodson, were walking together in the Hall of Fame. And I thought to myself, Jalen's career is very parallel to them both.
Mm-hmm.
And talking to Mike T today, he said, you know what, we're going to use him everywhere. His intellect, his athleticism, his versatility, his ability to communicate allows us to play him where we need him. And he could still play every position on the back end. I think you are very similar to those players. I think you end up where both of those guys have ended up in the Hall of Fame. How do you see what they've been able to do and you getting to watch them finish their careers playing other positions? How has that influenced you?
Like I've been asked before, like who's my favorite corner, obviously. If you ask me who my favorite corner is, I'm probably gonna say Revis, probably Revis or Champ or obviously Dion, obviously. If you ask me who my favorite DB is, I'm gonna say Charles off the jump. Like a lot of respect for Rod as well. He did the same thing, but I'm gonna say Charles off the jump. Like probably favorite player ever, favorite DB for sure. Watching him, even when I was in college, like I've always been a fan of just the game of football and a fan of defensive backs in particular. So in college, I used to have the video crew go get me clips. When I used to play nickel at Florida State my sophomore year, I used to have the video crew go get me clips of Charles playing nickel. And so from then, like I started watching him and just studying him and okay, like they might do wide blitzes and it's always him coming off the edge if they with the tight end or whatever like that and he making crazy plays or, you know, just his mindset on things like, man, I've watched a full game clip of him in the first quarter giving up a bomb and then the rest of the game going crazy, like short-term memory. Like even little stuff like that I've watched and studied with his game. I've always been a super big fan of him. I've always wanted my career to look more like that than anybody else. If I had to like pick one person that I want my career to look like, it's always been him. Whether that is 12 years, 15, 18, whatever, right? I've always seen my career looking like that. Obviously, on my past teams, I've been needed to more than likely at times be specifically a corner and have certain matchups and be on the outside because that's a valuable position for sure. But I've always wanted to be able to move around and kind of be in a game plan, really. You know, at corner, it gets boring after a while.
Will you get that here, though, Jalen, the ability to move around and be around the football and affect the game in multiple ways?
100%. That was even, going back to talking about the acquisition, that was even like a big thing for me. Was like, I remember talking to Mike and Omar, and I'm like, yo, football-wise, I think that was one of the first questions I asked. Like, yo, how do you envision me fitting in with this defense? How do you envision me playing with this defense? Because obviously you have Slay, who I have a ton of respect for. Me and Slay been friends for a while. Then you got Joey Porter Jr. And it's like, I know for a fact what both of those guys can do on the outside. And I know what I can do versatility-wise in the nickel, at safety, if you ask me to, outside matchups, whatever. And the conversations we had really had me excited for the possibilities that we can see on the field this year, even if it's playing position that I haven't played yet in the league. But, you know, in college, I played it all. I played safety in first year, nickel, corner. So I'm excited to be able to potentially do do a number of things this year.
Like you said, y'all really got 3 1s.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's how we view it too.
Yeah, but did y'all have to? Was there a little hierarchy struggle or anything?
You talking about like who going first in one-on-ones?
Yeah, like Lil Peasy, Slay, yourself, one-on-one start.
They know who going first. Yeah. And Slay so chill, right? Slay my dog. Me and Slay have a great relationship. Slay already knew what type of time, and I was on Slay chill. Slay like, man, y'all got it. You know what I'm saying? Slay cool.
Yeah.
You know, with Joe, he like, nah, Jay, I need that. I'm like, after me though. You know what I mean? Like, you gonna get it. You gonna get that action.
Yeah.
After me, let me do my thing, and then you gonna get your action. And you know, all 3 of us, we sat with Mike T, even at the beginning of camp, and we had good conversations. And he even kind of butted in and told Joe too, like, hey, Jay gonna be the guy right now. Mm-hmm. And we're gonna get you yours too. but Jay gonna be the one popping it off. We're gonna give the people what they want. Jay gonna be the one.
Yeah.
But I love it, to be honest, because, like, one of my most favorite years when I was in Jacksonville with AJ Bouye. And it was like, I felt like I was that one. I was the dog. But AJ was like, at times, AJ was like, no, I need that. I need some of that too. If we playing D-Hop, yeah, I know you got the matchup, Jay, but if I'm feeling it, let me get it.
Right.
And I had no problem with that. I'm like, I love that. Like, whoo, that's to me, that's like, yo, that mindset is crazy. I like that. I already love that with Joe. I'm like, oh, that's how you feeling? I'm like, man, this gonna be, if that's really what you on too, then we just alike. This gonna be a match made in heaven, and we gonna feed off each other. And Slay, if you wanna hop in there too, you come on. But if you wanna dominate the twos or the three, you do that too. So it's gonna be fun for sure.
When number one from Cincinnati roll up here then, cause he the one too. What's the conversation gonna be that week?
That's me. That's Jay. That's 5 for now. That's 5. Joey, I'm gonna give you. I know that's what Joey wanted as well, and he gonna get his ops, but that's 5 right now. That's 5.
The Steelers made some great transactions this offseason, and they brought in a lot of guys that have won Super Bowls, right? A lot of great leaders. How do you see yourself fitting into that equation to bring that energy and let it trickle down to all the other guys who lack the experience of playing on that level in those pressure situations to get them up to speed?
Definitely trying to help the guys get over the hump of, the playoff win drought, but we got the right guys here already. You know what I'm saying? They just, at times you got to put different pieces together and stuff just has to happen, right? So I haven't even really thought about it in that way because I just know that, like, we got the right type of guys that can do it. Like, it was the same way when I was in LA, and yeah, we were supposed to be this and that, but everybody still kind of had that little stint on Matthew of, oh, he ain't winning playoff games and he ain't doing this and he ain't doing that. Like, but as a team, we didn't worry about it because we knew what type of guy he was, and we had to put a lot of the other pieces together, and we did. And once we, got in those moments, he shined and he showed who he was, as well as other guys who got their opportunity as well, whether they had been in the playoffs before or not been in the playoffs. Like, we had guys who have obviously been in the playoffs and been to the Super Bowl, who was on that Rams Super Bowl team before, who played, pivotal parts for us. And then we had guys who hadn't been in those positions and hadn't, done that, who played pivotal parts for us. So it's just putting it all together, which, that's the goal. That's what we trying to do.
You're gonna have a pivotal player at the quarterback position. Got a chance to see him in person today, and he threw like 4 or 5 footballs that made me feel the same way I felt in 2010, 2011 Super Bowl when we couldn't do nothing with him here. I'd have 2 rings if not for him. What have you seen from Aaron Rodgers that made you just say he still got it?
Still got it. Oh my goodness. And well, first off, I'm just about to take away like his arm talent and his precision, his accuracy, and the no-look passes and all that. Forget about all that for the second. Can't forget about it, but for the second, forget about it. The confidence that he brings, that whole offense, like, everybody around him wants to be great, and it's kind of like nobody wants to let him down. Yeah. The best teams that I've been on, that's been like how the whole team is. When I was in LA, I didn't want to let AD down. I did not want to let Aaron Donald down. Wow. Other guys on the team felt the same way. Right. I didn't want to let the secondary down. They was looking at me to lock up number 1 receivers. I didn't want to let them down. The other defensive linemen didn't want to let AD down. The other edge rushers didn't want to let Vaughn down. You know what I'm saying? Then on the offensive side, our receivers did not want to let Matthew down. They wanted to prove that he could be that piece and do it. You know what I'm saying? The other receivers didn't want to let Odell down, Cup down. You know what I mean? The running backs, Sony and Darryl, they didn't want to let nobody down. The offensive linemen didn't want to have Stafford be touched. They didn't want to let him down. Like, that's how I feel that A-Rob is doing for the offense right now, and I feel that is probably the most important thing. Like, man, the lineman be pissed off if he getting touched. That's how it should be. You should feel that way. The running backs want to have a good running game so that they can open it up for him so he can sling the ball around crazy. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? DK, the other receivers, the receivers don't want to let DK down. They don't want to have him take the whole, they don't want it all to be on him. everybody wants to step up. Everybody wants to be great. And I think that's like a big important key in bringing all of it together. And then obviously you got the special one-on-one stuff that he does that it's like, yo, I don't even know how to defend this. I don't even know how to guard this. You know, and then he's building the chemistry with DK, his tight ends, and everybody. It's like, yo, some of this stuff is insane. It's only making us better in practice too.
Do you feel that there's a lot of pressure to prove that you guys aren't the NFL version of the LA Clippers? And what I mean by that is, you look great on paper, you got the names, you got the resumes, but you still got to go out there and do it.
100%. The type of guys we haven't thought about it that way. I don't think we even will think about it that way.
Right.
For example, if you go ask A-Rob, is he too old or if he's washed, like, see what his response is going to be. He going to say, come watch me.
Right.
Come watch me. Come watch what I do. See what this old man can do. You ask Slay that, he going to tell you the same thing. Put your number one receiver up there. That's what Slay going to say. And then ask him after the game how that's going to be.
Right.
It's all going to tell the story once we line up. Sundays, Mondays, Thursdays, Friday, I don't even care. It don't matter what day it is. That's the type of team we got. We line it up.
It should be that way.
So,
yeah.
No, we don't think about it that way. Cool. I'm glad that we look good on paper. We look good on Madden and all that good stuff. But we grinding to look good in real life too. Right. So when you line up, you gotta feel it.
And is it on with all them personalities, all that talent? Like you brought up some names in LA you played with, super talented. This team is super talented as well. Is it on y'all to figure each other out? The egos, anything? Is it Mike T, or does it come to coaching staff, or is it a vet saying, hey, okay, like you said, y'all work it out yourself?
It's a collective for sure, but
I'm respecting and I'm scared of Mike T a little bit. I ain't gonna lie, love him, but I'm scared of him.
This is the thing about Mike T. He does have an open door policy where we can come, we can talk to him, we can maybe bring suggestions and stuff like that. But a true leader. I'm talking about true leader. At the end of the day, sometimes it's just like, you know, growing up in the house. Sometimes if I say something, I ain't got to tell you why. It's just, this is what we doing around here.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's how my pop was with me and my brother. We couldn't ask him no why. If Pop say get up at 6:30 and make our shakes before we drive to school, that's what we better do. And it ain't he got a reason that he asking us to do that. So we better shut up, we better do it. He got some of that in him.
Yeah,
For
really?
sure. And we respect the hell out of it though.
Yeah.
We respect it. I mean, how can you not? Proof is in the pudding of how his coaching careers went. So there's definitely some of that, but other than that, yeah, we figure it out with each other. We figure, certain things out with each other, but going back to the example with me and Joey, it's all love though. Like, I love seeing that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad that he in his mind is the number one corner on this team. And I'm definitely gonna have that mindset that I'm the number one DB on this team. Whether it's safety, nickel, corner, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
That's only gonna elevate this team though. So it's been all good.
You know, that made me think Kobe said when he played Mike the first time, everybody's like, you don't talk to Mike like that, or you don't do that. And he said, nah, like, I'm telling him I'm that too. You know what I mean? It feels like that. Like, whether it's the offensive players, y'all on defense, you like, nah, I get that you're that, 100%. But I'm that too.
Y'all wanna know a crazy story? This is crazy. I've actually never given this backstory. So everybody know the Steve Smith, right, when me and Steve got into it. So Jacksonville was different, as you know, at the time. Mm-hmm. It was different. We was sorry. We,
trying to figure it out. We did not have a lot of guys that loved football, in my opinion. Right.
We didn't have a lot of tough guys, things like that, whatever. That whole week, I remember, we was playing the Ravens too. That whole week, it was, and my teammates at the time, they knew how I am. So the whole week was, yo, Jalen, don't talk to Steve. Don't talk to Steve. Don't argue with Steve. Don't diss with Steve. Don't nothing with Steve. He crazy. He gonna spaz. He gonna do it. You gonna turn him up. And the whole week, this is back in Jacksonville, I'm like, y'all are crazy. Like, I'm that. Like, I don't care what he talking about. I'm that. Like, I'm really that. So I don't even care. So how it popped off was, I was personally playing pretty well, but at the time we had a nickel and he ended up getting a flag. He pushed one of our nickels at the end of the play. That was my moment. So I went over there, pushed him. Boom, boom, boom. And then it was like a little smaller scuffle, nothing crazy. Y'all know football scuffles. It got broken up. At the end of the game, that's why he came up to me. He was like, in his exact words, I won't even forget. His exact words were, yo, youngin, you straight, but you better watch who you talking to. You better watch who you. And I started laughing at him. Like, I started laughing. Like, he a little bit shorter than me or whatever, but I started laughing at him. I'm like, I'm that. What you mean? I'm that. You coming up to me after the game. And then that's the locker room thing. You coming up to me after the game. You old man acting like that. Cool. That's how that happened, though. Yeah. So, just to go back to the story of when Kobe was like saying that about Mike, like, I'm that too. That's always been my mindset. And we got a lot of dudes on this team who got that same mindset. Right. Like, yo, no, I'm that too. It may not be seen yet, but I'm that too. Like, I see a lot of that in my teammates, and I love that. Like, I love that. Like, that's gonna make us great.
I have a question for you, man. You speak about your father and that relationship so highly. And in our game, it's not often you get to see some of those same qualities in the person that is in charge of leading the team. And you've had great coaches. Sean McVay is a great football coach.
For sure.
Right? But Sean McVay is different than Mike T.
Yeah.
When you call your pops and you're having those conversations, what's some of the back and forth between the two of you about the place you're in now?
He honestly asked me about Mike T more than he asked me about anything else. Like, before he asked me about a teammate, he asked me about errol a little bit and things like that, but before he asked me about teammates, he always asked me about Mike T. How's that? How's he as a coach? Obviously he knows the relationship me and Sean have, and got a lot of respect for him as well, but like immediately, I even remember, and my dad kind of old school too, so the Steelers kind of got that old school feel about him and stuff like that, hard-working city, just even the city in general. When the trade got announced, I was in London, so I had to fly straight here just to, sign all the paperwork and stuff like that. My pops was like, yo, can I just meet you there? And I'm like, yo, ain't nobody there. Like, it ain't nothing, ain't nobody there. I'm like, Mike T ain't there. Like, nobody's there. I'm literally going to sign my paper and I'm leaving the next day. Like, it ain't nobody there. But, man, he's so excited for me, for this opportunity, just for the team, for me to, play under a coach that I have a ton of respect for and that I've always had a ton of respect for and that, like, I've looked up to, like, growing up and stuff like that. So he's been super excited for me. He kind of feels the same way as I do, like, yo, like, let's get it this year. Like, show all your talents if that's what they're going to let you do. You know what I mean? Push yourself. Make sure you grinding. Like, my pop's old school. He excited for me. He think it's good.
In year 10, how much has this change re-energized you? Like, you always played the game tough. Mm-hmm. You always played hard. You always tried to be your best. You tried to excel. But I've watched you move around in your career, and it seems like you're also searching for the optimal place for you at that time in life. Mm-hmm. Right? And that changes as we evolve.
100%.
As you've evolved, how much has this fit re-energized you as the human, even more so as the player?
More than I could probably explain, to be honest. Like, when I got traded from LA, I was like literally praying to go to Miami. Like, and it was probably not for all the right reasons. Obviously, football has always and will always be very important for me. But I also had other things in the back of my mind too. Like, yo, I want to live in a good city. I want my kids to enjoy life and, be in the sun and have pool year round and this. I want my family to like coming to visit me and this and that. It was other stuff that added on to that as well. With this decision, I'm like, man, I promise you, I prayed to God completely different than I prayed like the last trade.
Talk about that
I prayed like, my prayer was so different. It was like, yo, please reveal what you want from me. Like, right now, in this moment. Please reveal what you want from me. I ain't even asking. I don't even want to go to a specific, I don't want to go anywhere specific. Like, it came out like, oh, he want to be back out in LA. He want to do this. Man, I ain't prayed that one time. I'm talking about never. I was like, it would have been cool. Don't get it twisted, but I ain't prayed that one time. I'm like, yo, please reveal to me where you want me to be and why you want me to be there. As things kind of unfolded and, obviously they checked in very early. Mm-hmm. And at the beginning, when they checked in, A-Rod wasn't here yet, and it was a lot of uncertainty. So in my mind, I'm like, nah, man, that can't be it. You know what I mean? Like, nah, that can't be it. And then it was just like the persistent, like, it kept coming up, whether it was like little reminders daily or it was like, oh, now A-Rob's there, now I'm getting more phone calls, or like, man, randomly, David called me one day and was like, yo, you been in California? Because he know I go out to California. He like, yo, you been in California working out with DK and A-Rob? I'm like, nah, like, I ain't seen it. Like, I ain't even seen him. He like, yo, somebody just called me, told me you was out there with him. I'm like, nah, not even. You know, and then working out at UCLA, and then like, right when I'm getting there, DK leaving, just like a bunch of stuff just kept happening. And I'm like, man, is this something for me? And my pop's been preaching this whole offseason, like, yo, Jay, get back to the basics. Like, let's get it. Like, come back home. Let's grind. Let's get back to it. Let's build yourself, you know, an all-around athlete. Like, stop focusing on just one thing, or like, let's build it all up. So it all just came together, and like, my family's so supportive. My kids are so happy, like, and it's just, I feel like it's just me, my teammates, football, like, and I love every bit of it. Like, I've just been embracing everything that's going on in my life. Like, life is really good for me right now. Life is great.
You say you pray for something different, and this is definitely different.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
There's more tradition than the other teams you've been to. More championships, more fans that travel, the craziest fans. I love them just because of that. Wish I could have played for some. But it's also more snow. You haven't played in a cold city. You ready for all of that and those changes and just everything that come with it?
Yeah, I ain't tripping on it. I'm cool with it. My brothers, my teammates, they gonna be out there with me. If we cold, we cold. We still gonna rock though while we cold. I'm telling you that.
Everybody cold though.
You know what I'm saying?
They cold
Everybody,
too.
we still gonna rock.
Yeah.
Like, it ain't none of, like, cool. It'll give us an advantage if that's what people want to say, you know, later in the season. If it gives us an advantage, it gives us an advantage. But yeah, I'm cool. I bought me a little Ram truck. I'm ready. I got rid of the Rolls Royce, all of that. Give me the Ram truck.
You know what's funny is the Steelers parking lot doesn't look like an NFL parking lot. Like, I remember I was coming from Washington and we had Clinton Portis. He had every type of car you could think of. LeVar Arrington. We had all these big contracts, and these dudes, like even the wives would show up to the game different. You know, they be in heels and dressed to the nines. And then when we got to Pittsburgh, it was folks drove Ram trucks.
Yeah.
You know, at the time, old man Rooney had a Buick. You know what I'm saying? Like, cats just came to the stadium to play football.
That's it. We about football.
You know what I mean?
Like, I ain't gonna lie, I love this, y'all. Like, this remind me of, like, when I was, like, younger. Broke, ain't had nothing. I'm just, man, Pops take me to the field. I'm ready to play, man. We gonna warm up. We gonna play football. Like, it's about football around here. Like,
you mentioned your family, Jay. You know, you were a young father, right? And there's no one who can know you, who can watch you from the outside and say, oh, wait, that's a huge part of his life. How has evolving in that way, growing in that way, made something like this okay for you? Because it isn't the place everybody wants to visit. You dang near don't need a pool at all, much less need a pool year round. It's not going to be the fun nightlife. How much, though, as being the father that you are now says, you know what? This can work for me and them too.
100%. The way I want to raise obviously I love my mom and my pops, and I think they did an amazing job with me and my big brother. And I want to raise my kids similar, not the same, but similar. I want them to see, like, yo, Pop's getting up at 6 o'clock to go to work. He ain't getting back to way later. Like, I want them to see the hard work, the sacrifices. I don't really care too much for my kids to see the glamour, all of this. No, I want them to know and see what hard work is. So cause I be training my daughters and everything like that. So when I'm on them, like, they know I'm on the same thing. And I even preach to my daughters and stuff like that. Like, yo, you want to be a winner, right? This is what winners do.
Right.
This is what champions do. Or do you want to be a loser? Like, I'll call my daughters right now and I'll say, what do winners do? And they'll tell me straight up what a winner does. And I say, what do losers do? And they'll tell me what a loser does. And I'm gonna say, so which one we gonna be? They say they'll tell me we're gonna be the winner. And obviously, my daughters are super athletic, you know, athletes on both sides, whatever. But that's the type of stuff I'm trying to instill in them. It's like the hard work, you know, even in terms of like manners. Like, you know, they meet y'all, they meet anybody, it's gonna be yes, sir. It's gonna be no, sir. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. That type of stuff. And I feel like here in Pittsburgh, things are not superficial. Like, you know, you kind of have sometimes in Miami, in LA, and things like that. Like, nah. People around here, they work hard. They got manners. You know, they're super respectful. And those are the type of things I'm trying to teach my kids.
I love that. It is cool. And you get drafted to Pittsburgh off the bat. You're just gung-ho about it now, but would your career be different if you were here for 10 years?
Probably so, yeah, 100%.
Because you talking about the gold jacket, you talk about, you know, you in them conversations, but
100%.
But what would be the difference? You had a Super Bowl in LA, you was a Pro Bowler,
All-Pro.
Everywhere you were, all-pro. Why would it be so different in Pittsburgh?
Let me say this. I embrace every part of my journey, and I think that every single part has been important for specific reasons at that specific time, and it's all led me to here and being super appreciative of where I'm at right now. Let me say that. If I would have started my career here, it probably would have been different. My focus may have been a little bit different at times. I may have been here just my whole career. Like, this is like a place where I feel like, one, they take care of their own. Mm-hmm. I truly believe that they take care of their own. But two, guys really want to be here. Like I've heard them say it when they were going through TJ's contract. I was watching Mike T's interviews and stuff. He like, yo, both sides want to get it done, so it's going to get done, right? You know what I mean? Like, that's not always the case when you at everywhere, but here, it's like, nah, I want to be here, man. Let's figure it out. Let's do it the right way. They handle business the right way. Fans are amazing here. Mm-hmm. Coaching staff is amazing here. They're always winning here. It's not much to not be happy about if you truly love football. Like you say you do.
You do know that playing here comes with a very different responsibility to the community and to the fan base than playing in LA and Miami. Mm-hmm. We don't have entertainers and rappers, and we don't have actors and celebrities. We got Steelers, we got Penguins, and we got Pirates. Yep. And the name I said first is the most important 100%. Name. When you win on Sunday, it's a different vibe when you see everybody walk to work.
100%.
On Fridays, when you drive through the city, there's going to be women in business suits with 5 jerseys on going to work. Like that is proper work day attire. Mm-hmm. What's expected here is different. What's going to be expected of Jalen Ramsey and everything that they've ever heard about you here is different. I think you got to meet him last week. He don't talk much. He wears his hoodie super tight. We FaceTime with him. Like, there's a lineage of the Mel Blunts and the Rod Woodsons and the Troy Palomalus, and they're going to expect you to have that sort of impact
100%.
On this team. When you think about the lineage of the organization and now the position you play, how much do you relish in the opportunity to uphold that standard?
I wouldn't want anything other than that, truly. Like, that's when I thrive, honestly. You put the pressure on me, that's when I thrive. Because if I am who I believe I am and who I say I am at times, then, you know, it's going to show. So I wouldn't want it any other type of way. Like, I love that.
You cool with the executives and coaches believing differently now? There's an off-season list that for as long as I can remember, you were at the top of. Mm-hmm. When Jeremy Fowler would go on TV and he'd be like, here's the list of the top DBs or cornerbacks. Yep. Normally, Jalen Ramsey was square at the top. Now it's loaded with names like Pat Surtain and Derek Stingley Jr., Trent McDuffie. It's a lot of names that aren't Jalen Ramsey. Chan asked Devontae Adams about the same thing. Mm-hmm. Like what happens when you get to year 10 and 11 and nobody checking for you no
start
more?
Dropping down that list.
That's cool. That's cool with me. That's cool with me. And I got a lot of respect for those guys you named. A lot of respect for them. They're young. I hope they get paid. I hope they do their thing. But Jalen's still, I'm still that one. I'm still that one. I'm still the one that they was looking up to. I'm still the one that they still gonna be taking parts of their game and trying to copy mine. I'm still that. It's like Charles. Charles didn't win Defensive Player of the Year till year 9. I'm in 10. You know what I mean? I'm still going.
That's kind of impact you plan on having?
For sure. God willing. You know what I mean? Stay. You know, obviously.
That's the same smile when we asked Mike T about having all 3 of y'all corners on the team.
Yeah.
He set up and smiled too.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, man. We like I said, it's all gonna show once we get on that field. But it's all gonna show when we get on the field. That's all I'm gonna say. But I'm cool with that. I'm 100% cool with that. I think that's how it should be. I think that's how the sport should be. If you have a down year or whatever, you should be graded on your performance. So throughout my career, I've kind of built up my resumes to where this is what people expect of me. So if I'm anything less than this elite player, then that's terrible, right? I'm cool with that. One, that means that I've done something in my career. That's off the bat. And 2, that means that people are assessing me and grading me fairly. And I'm cool with that as part of this game. I'm cool with that. So now I got to show them that, all right, it's still that. And I'm cool. And I'm cool with giving people little reminders.
Man, listen, bro. I thank you for your time, man. I mean, you know, we get to talk pretty often because I see you. But to see you in black and gold, it just does my heart.
Yeah, man.
My heart will. I was excited to even connect you and TP on FaceTime, man. I think you fit what we do here, and I think people getting an opportunity to see you be your authentic self, both on the field and off, in this uniform is different. You know, you've been able to shine wherever you are, but it's like that thing, this great player has been so many places, right? When does he find a home? Your career is not like mine. Anyway, so much better player. But I remember when I first met Mike T, he called me a journeyman. And I was like pissed. But it was just true. You know, I had been to 3 different places and he's like, but we're going to make this your home. So from Steeler Nation to you, man, I hope we make this your home.
You and me both. You and me both, man.
Man, appreciate you.
Yeah,
bro.
100%.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate y'all. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
thank you, dog. Ah, shit, stupid, dog.
Oh,
He was like, yeah, I'm still that one. Now.
Carry that.
Yeah, he was like,
You gotta carry it.
he's like, I'm still that one. That's what's crazy about these people like him that's been good the entire time, like Derwin. You know what I'm saying? It's a confidence level that go with that.
Played is perfect.
Yeah.
I set my damn bar so high that you comparing me to me.
Straight up. Yeah. Straight up.
Y'all really think about that? Yeah, I'm not really comparing you to number 4.
Yeah.
You're not what you used to be.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
It's dang, Jalen wasn't on this year. He losing it. So it's like, okay, I gotta remind him that I'm still on it.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
I'm still on
Oh,
that.
they excited.
They believe it here.
They what?
Oh, and I'm gonna prove these folks right.
Yeah,
That's one thing about that.
They believe